And we are live here for another real news here. Another week in this pandemic, and Robert Trump has just passed away a few hours ago. How do you guys think it's coronavirus?
I don't know, man. How old was he?
71,
Maybe, maybe not.
but
Like,
they never released the cause of death.
maybe was he the one that drinks a lot?
No, that one already passed away.
Yeah, I mean, he could have.
Yeah.
It could be COVID. It could be, I don't know much about him, to be honest with you.
I don't either, but I will say the fact that they've been keeping because he's been in the hospital for a bit. Like, it's not like he just whoop, he's gone now. Like, he went to the hospital not too long ago. Trump visited him, I think, yesterday, and now he's gone. I hate to say it, but I think it's coronavirus. It could be wrong. Like, there's a good chance it isn't, but I think there's a good chance it's corona. And honestly, that would look bad if it is.
I don't like commenting on anything like that until I know what it is. But I will say, screw the Washington Post. Did you see the obituary
Oh
that the Washington
God.
Post wrote?
No,
Here we
what
go.
did they
You
say?
ready? Here we go. Let's go. Robert Trump, younger brother of President Trump, who filed lawsuit against niece, dies at 71. So they had to do.
Oh my
They
God.
had to even in that obituary, they had to put a shot at Trump. Like they had to
It's
put a
in the
shot
headline,
against President
too.
Trump. Yeah, had to do it.
Well, here's the thing: if he died of coronavirus, they'd probably like blast that out.
Yeah.
Usually if they don't say it, it could be related to suicide. At least from what they tend to like bury that when people die from suicide.
I don't know. It's really weird that the cause of death has not been revealed. So I just
Well, no, because they would reveal it immediately.
no, they wouldn't. Cause it would look awful.
Well,
The
yeah,
optics
but
on
they
Trump.
Trump wouldn't release it, but someone else would release it, like the hospital would release that,
Unless they're keeping the hospital, keeping it hushity hush.
or a reporter.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just speculating because, well, not speculating, guessing, predicting. Who knows? Could be totally wrong, but it's just, I don't know. It's just strange, but I do feel bad for the guy. That always sucks. Now, why are some headlines saying he's 72? And our headlines he was 71.
It's reporters. They don't, they're not perfect. They're like, oh, maybe 72, maybe 71. They don't fucking fact check themselves.
No.
They're waiting for Snopes to do it for them.
Well, no, and even like Snopes, like I noticed that, like even Snopes, that their fact checkers, like their sources are like other liberal outlets, like other bullshit liberal outlets. Like it's not real. It's nothing that they put like very little. Okay, very little that they post is actually credible. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, actually, because you mentioned that at the perfect time. I'm on Twitter, and I did hear about this a little bit, but it's trending. And I see on the side says white nationalists and counter protesters clash violently in Kalamazoo. And what does the first picture show on here? The Proud Boys. So counter protesters, it's very small right here, really. Like you're not going to pay attention to that. The first thing you see is white nationalists. Counter protesters isn't first, it's white nationalists, and you see a picture of Proud Boys. So already smearing Proud Boys as white nationalists again. The following content may be disturbing. Oh, it's sensitive, so I have to look at. But apparently, like there was a pretty brutal brawl with Proud Boys and Antifa. The counter protesters. Oh wait, what am I saying? The counter protesters is what they're calling Antifa. So Jesus Christ. And it's not Antifa isn't a terrorist organization anymore, guys. They're just counter protesters, and the Proud Boys, who are a multiracial frat, are white nationalists.
Well, here's the thing. Like, have you ever seen their Wikipedia article of, like, the Proud Boys?
It's insane.
Like a fascist, racist organization or whatever. Like, I was looking at that the other day. I was like, holy shit, this is the most biased.
Proud Boys are one of the most smeared groups of all time.
Yeah, like honestly, feel bad for those people because they do, they're like the only people that actually have the balls to stand up to the left, and
Mm-hmm.
they're constantly like, they're basically treated like skinheads, but they're not. They have like black members, they have
Gay members.
gay members. I mean, it's a frat, of course there's gonna be some gay members.
And I'm looking at the video here of the brawl that broke out. It's just a bunch of guys carrying American flags. Maybe like one or two Trump flags, but it's like American flags. And they're beating people up.
Well, American flags are, racist, apparently.
Well, yeah, it was, it was created during a time of slave owners, right?
Yeah, that's the way they treat it. If you have an American flag, that's considered a racist symbol. If you have, any sort of pro-America icon on you, it's considered racist. I think I was listening to, I don't know if it was Prager or someone else on the radio the other day. They were talking about, maybe it wasn't Prager, maybe it was Sam Hyde. I don't know.
You were listening to Sam Hyde.
Maybe that thing that you sent me. But they were talking about like the reason why they're like banning, like they're stopping the anthem is because they found that people, like during football games and stuff, is because they found that when people are exposed to patriotic emblems, they tend to, be more right wing.
Republican. Yep.
Yep. So they think that's why they want to go and ban that. Ban you from showing that iconography.
That's an interesting point because there was a study done. I mentioned it before that Scott Adams mentions it all the time, which is there was a study done where people were asked to vote Republican or Democrat. When they were when they went to the polling booth and voted, it was whatever the results were. But when there was a American flag visible, I guess like above the polling booth or something, they were more likely to vote Republican. So patriotism is associated with republicanism. Like when I was door knocking today, every time I see an American flag on a yard, I go, yep, probably Republican. And turns out 9 times out of 10 they are.
Well, yeah, that's because, if you have, like the Democrats, they are internationalists. They don't so much believe in the United States. It's globalists, internationalists. That's the way they operate, and it's pretty sad that they hate the country that much by and large. Like not all of them, of course, but a lot of these real progressive types, they do. They hate the country. They hate America. Like yeah, I was on Reddit and stuff, and all that they do is bash America left and right. It's like probably the most anti-American like social media website I think I've ever seen. Like basically, they're turning into like Tumblr 2.0 from some of the shit I see on there. It really makes me disgusting. And I wish, as much as I hate Facebook, I still wish I had access to it because, like, as shitty as Facebook was, it's a lot less shitty than fucking most of Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit. Especially, have you ever been on r/politics?
No.
Dude, it's just a Bernie circle jerk.
It's
awful.
It's the fucking best of half of it's now like anti-Donald Trump stuff. I was like, dude, we get it. You don't like Trump, but like, can you just show me other random shit, like funny stuff, not just like, oh, Orange Man bad,
But there is good news though. There is good news. Billie Eilish will be performing at the Democratic National Convention.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
Fuck is Billie Eilish?
Exactly. That's all. That's
how old is she? Isn't she underage?
She's 18, I think.
She looks like she's underage.
Oh, I thought she was in high school.
That's like
no.
Oh, the Democrats will love that because they support
like anybody. Yeah, because they're all perverts. Yeah. But that's like so. Here's my question. Okay, and we could have a round table of this. Okay. So if you go out, if you bull somebody and they look like they're underage, but they're not, does that still make you a pedophile?
It makes you weird. At the minimum, creepy.
At the weird, does it at least make you weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. That is
What say you, Alex?
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, man, that's what be careful about them guys with that yellow fever, man. Half of those fucking Asian girls, man, they look like kids. I fucking dated like an Asian girl, like a East Asian girl once. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
All right, what say you, Donnie?
What about me?
What about you? What you weren't let now? What if if somebody goes out with somebody who's of age, at least of age, but they look like they're underage, does it at least make them weird?
Yeah, definitely. I've had guys tell me before, and I wasn't they didn't guess I was underage, but they guessed an age that was really low, and they're like way older than me, like in their 50s or 40s.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, if you thought I was 22 and you're like 40 or 50, weird. Oh,
yeah. I'm just saying, because Billie Eilish looks like
Young.
she's barely
she
old
looks
enough
like
to
just
drive.
turned. She just turned. I think I just looked. She just turned like 18 in December.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Sh-
I
Very
still think
weird.
Ariana Grande looks like she's like 16 too.
She
I
She
does
do.
look very
does.
young.
Dude, she
It's
looks
just
like she's trying to be
like
like fucking
weird.
Hispanic too. It's like,
Yeah,
And
know,
who
it's
does
like, but it's like it's
what?
just weird.
Well, who does
Fucking
Billie Eilish
disgusting.
look up to big time too? Ariana Grande.
oh god, it's just like youth that were just shit, like just spoiled by the establishment. Like, here, fucking hell, man, the fucking Democrats. What does she even do? Is she like a musician or something?
Yeah, she okay. I
And
looked into her a bit because she's kind of interesting in some ways by being not very interesting. It'll make sense in a second. So she started off as a SoundCloud artist,
oh god,
and she had one hit on SoundCloud that I guess caught the attention of the industry, and she then within just like a year has only one album, blows up, is winning Grammys, album of the year and all that shit, and does the Relays Bond theme, is on every talk show and doing everything, and she's only like just turned 18. Now, her brother writes, I'm guessing, most of the shit. Like, they say it's collaborative, but I think he's really the guy that knows how to write what you'd call music. But they do this thing like, oh, we record in our bedroom. We don't even use a studio. And I'm like, yeah, because you probably can't even afford a studio. Because anyway, like one thing I've learned about the industry is like they just like kill you with all these like every time you want to record like all these fees and shit from it. But her whole brand, like if you look at pictures of her before Famous, she dressed like pretty much like a sorority girl. Once she hit Famous, oh, she's this baggy clothed, I'm not like the other girls chick, Zoomer, depressed. And I'm not saying her depression isn't real, because I think she actually is, like, legit has a lot of issues, but she has this whole, like, Zoomer Doomer brand, like it's that, like, it just looks such marketed as that. Like, it's I don't know. It's like, it's like it's fake and it isn't at the same time. Like she's such a contradiction from what I've looked into. It's like, yeah, she is depressed, but like they turn into this brand and like she's all this like baggy clothes and shit. That's like that's fake. But and okay, this is such a nitpick. This is a Sean thing. But and I noticed this on her website about being at the DNC and voting. Okay, so you look at her album, the title of the album is all in caps, and every single song is all lowercase, nothing is capitalized. And then you go on her website, it says vote all in caps, and then like the part with all like the paragraph with sentences, it's all lowercase. And Taylor Swift's latest album is all fucking lowercase. What is this stupid trend, like this Zoomer trend of like, I'm too lazy to capitalize the first letter of a sentence? What is up with that?
because they're fucking childish. You know,
I think
that's why the fucking Democrats love them, 'cause they love little children sexually.
Pretty much.
yeah, and I think too, if you think about it, I think they have to sign some kind of contract to support the Democrats. There has to be something beforehand that it's been discussed, because why are all these artists coming out supporting Democrats? All of them?
Well, I think also you gotta keep in mind for one detail I've left out is she's not some like poor. I mean, she said she used to be poor. I don't know if that's honestly true, but she says she's like poor, or like no, sorry, she's not poor. She's not like just this nobody that became a somebody. Her parents are in the fucking industry, like the Hollywood scene and everything. So they just knew somebody and they were able to get her in with a good gig. I think her mother is like an actress and her father is in something. I'm trying to read right now. Yeah, her mother is an actress and screenwriter and construction worker. Oh wait, no, that's their father, I think. Oh yeah, the father's a part-time actor appearing in films like Iron Man. Yeah, they're already in the shit. You know, it's not like they're just nobodies.
And it's talking
Like,
about Reed dispersing out the wealth, but it's staying within the wealthy. So when you have kids going to acting school and everything else like that, what is that for? If they're going to just have their kids just fill the next space.
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I struggled to. Okay, my father struggled to even sometimes to pay for those HOA fees in the house, and you know, and insurance on the Bugatti. Okay, it's serious. It's a serious world out there.
I had to sell the Bugatti and get the Porsche. I mean,
I had
really
to get a
had to
Land
break
Rover. You
down.
know how humiliating that was for me.
Oh God, it's just like, and that's the thing too. Is like, I mean, she's already like a vegan and shit. It says on Wikipedia, so she's already like lefty. So, but I bet in these like contracts that they sign, there's probably some like clauses like, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta be with this person, do that.
I wonder if she was dating Mac Miller when he had that Donald Trump song.
I
Oh
don't
god.
know. I don't even know if she's honestly dated anyone. She could be a lesbian. I'm not
Oh
even
no, she
joking.
probably no, she probably was fucking, the music industry's like Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah.
When she was like whenever they discovered her. That's how these disgusting people operate.
But though, like, Mac Miller and her did date, and she dated someone else afterwards. Mac Miller was up for a Grammy for, I guess, best rap album of the year or something like
Yeah.
that, and
Mac
then Cardi
Miller
B
also.
won.
Yeah, Mac Miller also went out with Ariana Grande.
Wait,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's what
Mac Miller
I
when
was
they started
referring to. Yeah, that's who I was talking about him dating. He dated her.
Yeah.
Wait. How old was Mac Miller when they were dating?
I don't know.
Let's fact check this.
That's a little bit disturbing.
He's
'cause,
currently. Oh, guess where he's from? Pittsburgh.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I think Mac Miller's dead now.
Yeah, I was
think
gonna
he
say.
OD'd.
I
Yeah,
just saw cause of
They
death.
they said he overdosed on drugs, but there was multiple posts from his mom on Facebook saying that there was no drugs found there. So she's questioning it, but she's been silent for a while.
It's the deep
Now
state. It's a QAnon conspiracy.
Conspiracy, man.
Well, how old was he?
maybe they didn't like his Donald Trump song. I don't know.
Wait, how old was he when he died?
26, I believe. Yeah, 26. Ooh, this is the 27 club.
Wait, and if they were dating, oh god.
I don't know. Were they dating? I'm trying to find this on there.
They were dating. They were dating. She was all sad he died. Like, they weren't dating when he died, but they dated before.
That might have turned her lesbian. Like, no joke.
But she's had a boyfriend since then. Some other guy who looked weird.
Really?
She dates like white rappers. That's her ammo, it seems.
Yeah, it's like fucking pedophilia if they were dating. Like, oof.
We're talking about Billy or are we talking about Ariana?
Ariana.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were talking about Billie Eilish. I'm like, no, she's probably a lesbian.
No, Ariana.
Okay, gotcha.
Who wants to change the subject now?
That's a good idea.
How about this? Hey, I'm gonna ask everybody a question, right? I'm in a question mood today. I'm all, 20 questions like a detective.
Oh.
Shining the light in your face and everything. No.
All right. Oh, I have a story about that, but continue.
Okay. So this week, a historic thing happened, right? This week. Israel and the United Arab Emirates made a trade like made a peace deal, right? Where I think the UAE is going to allow Israel to have an embassy in UAE. Now, this doesn't get any freaking media attention, but anybody that knows about Middle Eastern anything knows this is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Huge, right? Because most of these Arab countries for the longest time really struggled to recognize Israel as its own country, right? And so this is like huge, and Donald Trump helped facilitate. He helped make it happen. So here, this is what I'm saying. Like,
This is Joe Biden's. He was doing this when he was in office, wasn't he? You saw that's what he was saying. He was taking credit for it.
Yeah.
Of course, he likes to do everything that Trump's doing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I always like. By the way, by side note, anytime I hear Joe Biden talk about literally anything, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, isn't that what Trump is already doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, oh well, I'm gonna take
American
advice. I'm gonna take advice from scientists and all that stuff. I'm like, do you mean scientists like Dr. Fauci? Like, some of the pharmaceutical CEOs, some of the top scientists in the country, maybe NIH officials and you mean those people, the ones that you're talking about? Okay. Like, but anyway, digression. Anyway, Israel, UAE. So with this done, right? And with all the other stuff that he's done, would that nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize?
It should.
Yes, it should. But it's ran by Democrats.
Well, no. It's ran by it's run by, I think, was it Sweden? One of the Scandinavian countries.
Why did Obama get one?
Exactly.
He misled a whole bunch of people. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I think it's a bit more than that.
And when you look at the when you looked at the 2008 campaign, it was very misleading. A whole lot of people bought into it, right?
I saw some of that crap.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy?
A lot of people bought into the bullshit, right? And then you realize, and then once you dug a little deeper, then you realize that all that stuff was bullshit. But at that time, everybody was like on board. They were like, "Oh, this he's a great speaker. He's a great,
Didn't do
he's
anything.
so articulate and all that stuff."
But
he got
a participation trophy. He got it because he was black. Like,
thank
quote,
you.
Unquote,
that's probably it too. But I'm saying, but with Donald Trump, he's actually done stuff. We're talking about with North Korea. We're talking about with all these other stuff. With this Israel UAE deal, does that qualify him for a Nobel Peace Prize?
I would say it does, but they're not gonna. They're gonna find a way to weasel him out of there.
They probably
internationally they hate Donald Trump.
Right.
That's the thing. Is like, should he get one? Absolutely. With North Korea, Israel, Iran, I mean everything. It's been fantastic. But we're talking about a globalist organization basically. They're not going to give him the Nobel Peace Prize unless there is nobody that they can find to really give it to, and it actually would pay passable. I don't want to say never because anything is possible, but I'd put the chance of him getting one at 10%.
Well, the question was, should he get one though?
Oh, of course he should, but I just don't see it happening.
Do we know who was a contester then? I don't know a contester. Do you?
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that get nominated.
Yeah,
I think
he might get nominated.
Year. And they get
That's
you know that's
bigger than what he did. Like who could rival him getting it?
well no they'll give it to some they'll give it to Greta Thunberg or some shit.
Yo, they might. They might. If they
Maybe they'll
do.
give it to Fauci or something just to piss off.
Yeah.
Or like Biden or something, or like Kamala Harris. I could see them doing some shit.
Kamala.
Oh, speaking of Kamala Harris.
Kamala. You have to
Ooh,
say
let's-
Kamala 10 times to be allowed on this stream.
Yeah, I make a motion. I make a motion here.
What is this, Robert Rules of Order? What do we do, CRs?
Yeah, I make a motion, right? That we
Objection.
pronounce her name from here on out. We pronounce her name as Kamala Harris.
Disavow.
Anybody second?
Disavow. But
Kamala
I second
second.
it.
Harris.
Kamala
Second.
Harris,
Second.
right? Because and why do I make that request? Might you ask, young YouTube verse here? I will explain to you, baby snowflakes.
We don't have snowflakes watching this shit.
because on MSNBC they've been ranting about how if you get Kamala Harris's name wrong, then you're possibly a racist, and then lo and behold, Joe Biden, the presidential nominee, of course, called her Kamala Harris, right? So that's look, hey, if he calls her Kamala Harris, who the hell am I to fucking question how she's supposed to be called? So, I say, as the responsible person, one of the responsible people, I say we name her Kamala Harris from here on out. That should be how we call her.
Now,
Here's the thing with picking Kamala. How much do you think that that Biden actually did that himself? Because I think he was told by someone, "Hey, you need to go and have this person over here to get you like black votes."
oh, he
I really
was.
think that it was such a bad decision that he made it himself. Because one, she was actually introduced originally as an Indian American, and then she changed her race basically when it was convenient for her when she was running for VP. So she's flippy floppy, she's pandering, and I think he voted. I think he picked her because she worked in the Obama campaign as well. I think there's ties. I think she was Obama approved, and that's why the people are eating it up because they're wanting another Obama in office.
So Donnie, according to your brilliant expertise, right? And is Kamala Harris, is she African American?
She is not. She was born here, but her mother is Indian and her father is Jamaican. Immigrants.
So she's just
So-
American.
Okay, all right. So that rules that.
Wasn't she
So-
the one that was like banging like that guy in California to
Yeah,
get?
Yes.
yeah. It
She
was
was.
like a mayor of San Francisco or something like that. It was like it was like an affair of some sort.
Oh, it
so-
was an
yeah,
affair, all right.
yeah.
Bro ho.
No, somebody said something about that. I was talking to somebody doing my doors, and he saw like some on Facebook because it said like instead of like those how they have like the campaign logo says like Kamala or Biden Harris.
Kamala.
Sorry. Thanks for catching me. Kamala. Let's say Joe Kamala. It said Joe and Ho. I was like,
Yeah.
no. And he's like, it's catching on. I'm like, oh my god.
Dude, when I hear like Joe Camel, I think of Joe Camel.
See, that's easy. That's an easy way to remember her name. Kamala Harris, right?
Well, one thing I want to do a tiny bit of gloating right here because everybody, okay, let's wind the clocks back till I think it was like March or something. Scott Adams was doing this kind of too. It was kind of like a meme moment for people like, oh, January. It was January 2019, I think. I predicted Kamala would be the presidential nominee. Now, when she dropped out, I got ripped. Somebody in particular ripped me pretty hard. Like, oh, you were wrong. She's not the presidential nominee. Her. Now, let's fast forward to now. I'm technically wrong, yes. But was I really? Because we all know, the Democrats all know, when they're voting in November for this ticket, who are they really voting for? They're really voting for Kamala to be the president. She's clearly overshadowing him already, and clearly the rock star of it, and that's not saying much. But so was I really wrong?
I think
Honestly?
well, here's another question. Okay, here's another question. We're going deep into these questions, right?
Yes.
So
Mine didn't get answered though.
a bold prediction. Okay. So, so should if Joe Biden were to win, like say if Joe Biden were to win, right? How long after the inauguration would the Democrats try to kick Joe Biden out on the 25th Amendment?
I think what's going to happen is Joe Biden is going to end up like catching coronavirus and dying, and they'll use that as a way to go and enforce nationwide mask mandates by force of death. I think that's the plan.
Well, did you see they already rolled out a thing, and we're gonna answer some stuff in chat soon, guys. I see you guys blowing it up. Was a mandatory like a mask mandate, which is just gonna piss enough people off. I don't think actually what I think is what happened is that Biden would probably stay president for I don't want to say the whole term, but I would say a good chunk of time, because he would just sit there and Kamala would pull the strings. I don't want to say it'd be like Cheney Bush, because that's a little different, but it'd be that, but more exponential. It would be way more. Biden would have way more strings, and Kamala would have way more fingers on them pulling them. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they've wanted her the entire time, and this was the backup way of getting her in as president. But hey,
Well,
and I
don't-
thought it would be Susan Rice. See, when I was talking last week, and we seemed to kind of agree that it would be Susan Rice, and the only reason I was kind of saying that is because I assumed they'd make a smart pick, and that's the thing I want to really touch on
You
too
assume-
here.
See, there you go, fucking up, right? You assume that they would be smart. Look who looks stupid now.
I know. It's like, because honestly, like, to me, it's, and I get there's probably a lot of shit behind the scenes we don't know about, but, like, you know, Susan Rice would actually get some black vote, probably. Nobody in the black community likes Kamala Harris. Nobody. That is what is stupid about this pick. She had some spice to it. She's a little charismatic. She's got some style and flair, just a little bit. But what else does she fucking have? She's a cop.
Radical.
Hey,
She's
She's
radical.
Yeah,
She's
the
a
black
cop. She
people-
locked
Hey,
people up, black
look,
people up, and she's not
know what-
African American. This
you know
is
what
a
her best
terrible
quality
pick.
is?
Yeah.
You know what Kamala Harris's best quality is?
Is that she put her pronouns in her Twitter profile? Yes.
Well,
I just
no.
noticed that.
Yeah, well, that I guess that too, if that's your thing. But it's her ability to time travel. Like, she's an amazing time traveler. You remember that interview that she did with the Breakfast Club, where she said that when she was in college,
Snoop Dogg.
she was listening to Snoop Dogg before the album even came out. Dude, that's because she time travels, right? She traveled. Yeah, she traveled into the future, got the CDs, right? Got the Tupac and Biggie CDs, and then came back and was like, look, yeah, I mean, look, imagine imagine what she could do with that time machine.
Does she have a DeLorean still in her garage?
She might. She might. I mean,
Somebody should make a meme of that of her like in a DeLorean smoking a joint.
As much money as she's stolen from the city of San Francisco, I'm sure she could have easily bought the DeLorean from Marty McFly.
Well, probably after sucking off the California government, she can do what the fuck she wants.
Hot take: she is a good-looking version of Hillary.
She's a younger,
good looking.
Hillary.
Whoa!
Hey,
Whoa!
hey,
Yikes.
I said this was hot, so it came in burden. But compared to the rest of the people in this business,
Well, no, who is that girl? Who is the one from like Hawaii?
Yeah,
Tulsi.
Gabbard. She was a
Yeah,
looker.
she was decent.
she
you know?
is, but she is no. Like I said, this is a good-looking Hillary Clinton, and like when you factor in that sting.
That's like an oxymoron right there.
Oh, that's what it is.
good-looking- Ooh.
Hey,
It's like choking Robitussin down. Ooh.
I wouldn't give her like I would never call her hot at all. That takes quite a bit. Even Tulsi isn't that level for me. I just say she's good looking.
Well, they're politicians, you know. To be a politician, you know,
You have to be ugly, yes.
Yeah, because you're generally like a shitty person if you want to be a politician. If you're good looking, why would you get into politics? You can get into.
You're going to Hollywood.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on, the governor of South Dakota, she's hot.
Okay, let's fact check this.
Look, I'm not gonna lie though. Look, I will be honest. The younger pictures of Kamala Harris, she does look good. She does look good. The younger ones, but then of course, like the Father Time took an ugly stick and beat the shit out of her with it, and that's what we see today. So.
And I can confirm what Donnie said because I do remember this girl being on Fox, the South Dakota governor. I think it was around when Trump was doing that speech in Mount Rushmore, and the first thing I thought was, damn, she's hot for a politician. Like, I don't know, how old is she? Let's see. I forget her name, too. Chrissy Nome. She's 48. For 48, that's solid.
I told you
she
guys.
She does not. What? Did you say Kamala Harris is 48?
No, this is the South Dakota governor.
Oh,
yeah,
no. I would have never pegged her for 48. I would have never pegged her for 48.
Poor choice of words there.
No, what? I would way younger.
Pegged.
Way younger. I would have pegged her as way younger.
I'm just.
Well, I'm pegging me. That's fine.
Alex gets it. Though Kamala is 55.
Ooh, I would have.
Which honestly, she looks.
She looks older.
She looks older, yeah.
She looks older.
I guess she just got her AARP membership card in the mail too. Not join that shit.
And oh, by the way, I think it was Scott Adams made a good observation when they were at that desk signing that shit. And when you're looking, when the camera's dead on, who did they have sitting on the left? Kamala. They didn't have Biden sitting on the left. And the reason I say that's important is because usually, like, we read left to right. So you're going to put the most important person as the first thing there. And usually, like, when you see Trump at shit, they'll do that. They put her there. What does that tell you? Tells you everything. That's what. Oh, she's sharing more baby pictures. Oh, isn't that lovely?
Quest Ventures says Hillary used to be hot in the 90s.
Oh my God, you take that back. Fortune Quest Ventures, you take that back. Okay?
She looked goofy.
That pantsuit mullet was never hot. You take that back now.
Here, let's pull up some pictures of Hillary Clinton young. That's the first thing that comes up when you type in Hillary Clinton. It's Hillary Clinton young.
A pantsuit she mullet was never hot.
She looks like a hippie, doesn't she?
Well, wasn't she the one who was like saying that she was smoking weed while she was arresting people for like?
No, it's Kamala.
Weed.
Yeah, it's Kamala.
Who does that? That's such a fucking Democrat thing to do. Just, like arrest people for that.
I'm
shit.
just
She was like
imagining.
cracking down. She was like cracking down on like truancy too and shit. Fuck.
I just imagine like somebody like getting walked right into the jail, and then you see Kamala just like whip out a joint, and it's like sitting there with like the bitchy look, like her like elbows on her torso, just going at it. Like, yeah, you get that. Oh, I gotta check the chat here because it's rolling. Todd Moss says Jesus Christ. Yes, thank you. Fortune Quest Venture says Millie was arrested for smashing her mom's phone. Molly's mom thought Millie was getting into some bad stuff, so she took pictures of her files. Millie was charged with DV and burglary for the phone. We're gonna dive into that soon because I've heard similar stories. Donnie Greeny says exactly she's pandering, referring to Kamala. And then a no exclamation mark. Oh, thank you.
Kamala.
Thank you. Thank you for the autocorrect there. Fortune Quest Ventures. He says Joe/Blow 2020.
There it is.
That's accurate. Joe and Blow. Okay, that sounded worse. She's not African descent of slavery. That is true. It's Kamala. Accurate. Or maybe she is, but I diss on her, so she out. Is that referring to looks? I don't know. Shovel Point. I heard a hand rub. Hey, we ain't doing any hand rubs here. What'd you say? What'd you say? Oh, God. Oh, boy, we're fucked now. Donnie Grenee says, I don't think pose are necessary voting for. Oh, I think. Oh, PEOE. People are voting for. People are just voting again. MAGA. Well, we'll dive.
Against MAGA. Yeah, that's the truth. They don't have people who are like super enthusiastic with the Democrats. It's people who just don't want Trump. They have a bunch of 55% voters, as Phil would say, but they don't have any, they really don't have any 100% voters.
Yeah. And again, I brought this up a couple times. I keep bringing it up because it tells you everything. Trump campaign knocks 1 million doors a week. Biden campaign has none and has no staffers on the ground. The reason they don't have them is not the virus. It's no enthusiasm. It's very simple. And it's getting more apparent. I mean, here's the thing. I think we're going to have another... I think even Hillary had a bit more going for her because even though Biden in some ways is a mildly, marginally, tiny bit better candidate, it just isn't. They're really just sort of creating this facade, this smoke screen of like, oh, he's up in the polls. People are backing him and they like him and they're cool with, like, no, it's just no. You know, they have all these celebrities and shit at the DNC. It's like they're creating another sort of smoke screen to make him appear he's popular and he's not. What?
Like, at least Hillary Clinton, like, you know, she had the women voters going for him. Like, who does Biden have?
He wants to have the black vote, but he's like doing everything he can to scare him away and keep him home.
It's probably like the most like racist fucking like Democrat in the past like 20 years. Well, probably past 5 years.
And then he picks somebody who isn't even African American to try and get more of the African American vote. And they think that by picking an African American, it would do that. And then they pick somebody who isn't one. It's like, what are you doing?
You notice how they changed it quick though? They were like, she's a person of color. Like not they originally were like, oh, we're gonna it
was like a BIPOC now. It's like that's the newest thing. It's like add that to the work. I think it's retarded.
What does that mean?
Y'all know I keep up with Black media, right? Black media said that the Democrats seem to have given the vote to Trump when they picked Kamala Harris as Biden's VP. Not only that, but them picking Biden in the first place. So they basically gave the vote away. They don't like Biden and they don't like Kamala Harris either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but like let's be real here. What the fuck is BIPOC now? I keep seeing that acronym around, and it's like, you mean bipod? What the fuck is this?
Doesn't it mean when you're like mixed? Your person of color is mixed.
Person of color. That's what I thought it meant.
That's why it sounds like. Oh, and I'll Google that in a second. But the first thing I see on Joe Biden's Instagram, he has like a video and it says Trump didn't build a wall. So is he saying he's going to? Like, that's terrible messaging.
Dude, that reminds me, I was like at my girlfriend's parents these past couple of days, and I saw that like most stupidest like libertarian like ad, and you can tell it's libertarian because it's like it was some like libertarian text. It was like Donald Trump isn't like he wants to implement this, which is like close to socialist fucking policies. But it's like okay, so you're saying the Democrats would be better, but they're not. It's like they're just like don't like. Well, what's the point of that? You know, you don't even have any candidates who are doing like as if it's not Trump. The Democrats just want to do single payer health care in general. Like they're so fucking stupid. These libertarians.
Now you know why they trigger me. Okay, first of all, how do they afford a TV ad?
I don't know, man. Maybe from like selling child sex slaves in like fucking Ancapistan.
Was this was this a Jurgensen ad?
Probably, yeah, probably her from like
JoJo.
When you say
JoJo's
JoJo,
a no.
I think JoJo's like was that anime?
Yeah, that was like we should gonna do it like a whole like whenever you get done this shit, do like a fucking thing like Joe Jurgensen's Bizarre Adventure. It's like all her campaign gas.
Getting bitten by a bat.
Oh my
rabies.
God.
Oh, did she get rabies yet?
She probably got rabies from like banging Joe Exotic or something.
Dude, Joe wouldn't go for her.
I mean,
the Joe Exotic.
They were at war with each other. Look,
all these Joes.
As much as they were fighting, you'd think they would have had sex or something, but you know.
I mean, he is gay, but maybe he got confused because her name was Joe, and he's like, oh.
Close enough.
They hated each other on that Netflix series, though.
Joe,
I mean, it's like when a girl and a guy hate each other that much, they must have had sex previously. Yeah. Like something must have they must have liked each other, and something must have went awry, and then that's like usually like.
Oh, did you see?
Banged, or they wanted to bang, but there was something weird that got in the way.
Oh, I gotta pull this shit up. You guys know about the site Cameo?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I posted about it like before it was big. What?
Is Joe Jurgensen on there?
No, but well, the closest thing to it is Carol Baskin's on it.
Oh God.
So you can have Carol Baskin say, "Hello, my kittens," and whatever the fuck her stupid shit was. But you wanna know how much she charges to do like a shout out? $300. $300. Most people, like big AAA celebrities with big ass agents and shit, don't charge that much. But she does, and then you question like, cause Joe would always say, "Damn that damn bitch, she's all about money. She's all about taking over." Is he wrong? To chat with her, you got to pay her $20.
Oh God. Yeah, that's like more than a fucking decent prostitute, man. To go talk to some like old like hippie bitch who killed her husband allegedly.
Like, look, Tony Stewart, NASCAR driver, 125.
Who's that like the atypical guy?
Is he? Oh yeah, he's on here. Yeah.
How much was he?
Oh God, what's his name? Oh, by the way, BIPOC. I hate the acronym too. It stands for Black, Indigenous, people of color. And it's meant to unite all people of color.
So that's just a way for them to exclude Asians. Okay.
Yes.
I know where this is going.
So it's basically the Harvard of terminology.
It's discrimination right there, isn't it?
BIPOC. Fucking bipod. Like they come with more and more stupid acronyms like POC. I like whenever I hear POC, I think piece of crap because that's what I used to use for in like fucking RuneScape and shit. Now it's like, oh, we want to call ourselves POC. It's like, do you really want to call yourself that? Like POC, POS,
Optics check. Well, when you said it, when you're like, I know where this is going, I just imagine that meme with like the dude from, I think it's GTA is where it's originating from, where he's like, oh shit, here we go again.
Yeah, it's San Andreas.
Yep. Oh yeah, atypical dude. What's his name? That fucker. Let me check the chat there real quick because it was moving along, as we were going. I don't think.
Firecracker's back. Hey, Firecracker.
Oh, she's
good to see Miss Firecracker on.
Is she in the chat?
Yep, she's on the chat.
Cool.
Yeah, good to see her on.
Oh, she reminded me. I gotta give a Loomer update. I love doing that every week. So we'll do that in a second too. For fuck's sake, just wear your mask and goggles and kneel to your overlords. Yeah. I don't think our... Oh, yeah, that was one already read. No body at all. I'm back. This is Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I forget where that's from. Democrats don't care what the people think or want. They pick the most corrupt lying piece of shit they can find for public office. Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Her axe wound is still viable. What? Where's Donnie? Donnie's here.
Yeah, Donnie's here.
I got so used to her
Say,
talking
say,
to
Don-
me.
say hi. Say hi to the crowd again, Donnie, because they haven't heard
Howdy,
you
howdy,
from yet.
howdy.
Yeah, they don't believe us.
Yeah, gee,
If
they-
you're,
yeah,
if you want to talk, feel free. You know.
yeah.
Talk
you-
Yeah,
you-
I was talking earlier. I think people just popped in when I wasn't talking.
yeah,
Mm,
she's been holding down the chat. She's been doing a good job on the
yeah, yeah. We are piling in on Kamala. I'm in. Yeah, we're all in. Good looking Hillary. No, no, no. Second.
Oh.
You guys
Speaking
are
of Kamala.
hilarious. I know.
chat. Oh, so we gotta talk about Millie.
Yes.
Wait, wait, wait.
Gotta talk about Millie.
Yes.
But we were talking about Kamala. I have to finish one thing for her.
Sure.
Okay,
that
go ahead.
Remember when the Planned Parenthood was exposed for selling the baby body parts? The reporter who did that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kamala is the one who prosecuted him for that.
Wow.
She picks and chooses who she wants to prosecute.
Yeah.
Kamala fucking whatever fuck her last name is. Kamala Harrison. Fuck it is. Kamala Harris defends fucking arms dealers. Fucking dealing baby arms.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah,
make
I
that
remember-
a headline.
There was a joke about there was like the fucking Planned Parenthood deals more arms than fucking the NRA.
It's actually true.
Planned
This
Parenthood
ain't-
has more blood on their hands than the NRA.
It's true.
Someone once told me this ain't a scene; it's a goddamn arms race.
Oh my god.
What was that? That Fallout Boy. Who the fuck was that?
Yeah.
It's like fucking
Dude.
2007 all over again, man.
Dude, next time there's like some sort of gun control shit or some like gun protest, we need to get people like to hold signs outside Planned Parenthood that say
Oh,
more
they-
blood on their
yeah.
hands than the NRA.
We should create a shirt. We should create a shirt that says the right to bear arms, and we should have
Shall
like
not be infringed.
we should have a baby's arm on the shirt, right? A baby's arm, right? And it should be like Biden Harris 2020.
Oh my god.
Right to bear arms. And we should have a bloody baby arm.
Oh my god. Put that on the RNC store, on the Trump campaign
oh my
store.
God.
Yes.
I think that would sell like hotcakes.
See, this is the thing that's... I will have to dive into more details in 2 years. A hint, is that there is... When you optics cuck so much, you never have cool shit that people will actually buy. You know what I mean? Catch my drift?
Yeah, but yeah, that's because a lot. That's because the people they're like, especially the right, and I've seen that a lot. It's like they're so fucking nitpicky. It's like, oh, we can't be doing this. Like when I was in the CRs and college Republicans, they were so fucking lame. Oh, we're the best party on campus. Like, no, you're fucking not. Well, actually, back then they did have pretty good parties, but that changed as soon as certain people took power.
Well, they took the t-shirt. There was what the t-shirt
Oh
company
god.
took out Steven Crowder's "Socialism is for Figs" shirt. By the way, we should probably later on talk about Steven Crowder getting remonetized. Anyway,
Wait,
Not
what?
bad. I'm about him.
yeah, you didn't see that? You didn't hear it? Yeah,
It's
Steven
that
Crowder
lawyer,
got
man.
remonetized on YouTube.
That's what happens when you have a lawyer, unlike everybody else.
So what's up with that guy? I don't know. Steven Crowder, man, he seems a little bit shady.
I mean,
I've heard some shit from people that I prefer, let's say, in these spheres. So I haven't watched him as much. I used to like really like him like a lot, and I've heard some stuff. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
He's like a fucking diet Sam Hyde.
I heard he was extremely protective of his brand.
Yes,
Like,
I've heard that
that's how
too.
Yeah.
I heard he was
Yeah.
a little bit of a fucking like what's the politically correct term? Very very cheap with his money. Like he did not like going to pay his people.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing too. I think was that Sam that told us that? I forget. Somebody told me that, or somebody somewhere. I don't know. There's weird stuff I hear, and like he doesn't. He is protective in some ways because look who he's had on a show. Like it's just strange. Like he's had Alex Jones on, he's had Gavin McGinnis on, he's had some pretty like stellar people on, like Don Jr. and others. But he won't have Milo. But he won't have even Nick Fuentes. Which look, I don't like Nick Fuentes, but I would invite him on a show. I need like absolutely just to hear him out. And I think the problem I see is like people they seem to like draw a line at a certain point. Usually the line is like at the band people, the Gavins, and he doesn't have Loomer on. I don't think there's another one, but they usually draw a line at like the band people. Some of them go a little past to like Crowder, and then they draw another line. You know, there's a lot of lines.
Part of it is like. So part of it is like, do you like when they like, I know, and Ben Shapiro kind of went the same way too. Like we went, like as soon as he started doing more of his own show with like the Daily Wire and the Ben Shapiro show, you know, whatever. Like he started becoming more. He started becoming less risky.
Yeah.
And I know Steven Crowder is kind of been in the same fashion because you remember Steven Crowder, he used to do college tours with Milo.
Yeah, that's true. He did do that one with Milo.
Yeah. So and that kind of cooled off a little bit too, like having Owen Benjamin, having Not Gay Jared, you know, and they used to do like a lot of like really like cool.
He infiltrated Antifa
like,
too.
Yeah, and then it kind of, you know,
that ended because allegedly he didn't pay him anything.
Yeah.
Like, well, he didn't. Well, he paid him, but it wasn't good enough for a dude who just had a fucking kid.
Right.
Yeah.
You're getting someone to do undercover work like that. Like, dude, I'd be paying you a good fucking deal of money, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, putting your ass on the line. Like, he could have got shot by Antifa. He could have like get stuck with an AIDS needle. You don't fucking.
By the way, speaking of pay, there was another thing. I mean, we should talk about Outkick too.
Yes, we'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah, but before that,
should we catch up on the chat though?
Yeah. Let's catch up on this. I love those guys. I love hearing the audience.
Yeah, I just want to catch up before it goes more and more. Because somebody made a comment it's gonna turn you guys on. It was about where the fuck did it go? It was a good comment. It made me laugh. Fuck, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Hillary used to be hot in the 90s. Those hairy toes always turned me on.
I said that earlier.
Oh, you did? You might have happened when you were like talking, when we were talking, so like gurgled out, you know, when you were trying to talk, like gurgled out. She got a facelift recently. Kamala did, yeah. Kamala.
Camel toe Kamala.
It's a signal, lol. Please like the video. Yes, please like it. You guys are fun. We know that. Kidding. Trump 2020. Biden is WAF. What's that stand for? Weak as fuck. Thank you. You can put it right there. Wasn't Trump pulled 36% right now? Yes, Trump's numbers were low right now. They are at the same levels they were with Hillary back in the day. So foreshadowing much?
Look, here we go. I'll say this. Look,
I thought he was referring to the black vote though.
I think so. Yeah, for the black vote. Yeah.
I'll say this. If Trump gets 36% of the black vote, he's wiping the fucking floor.
Oh yeah.
He's wiping the floor with Joe Biden. Because you know he was in single digits in 2016 as far as the black vote goes.
It was like 9%.
Yeah. If he goes,
they know this though. They know this. That's why they're freaking out. That's why they picked Camel Toe Harris.
Ooh, there you go. I like that one too. I don't know. I feel like Kamala. I just feel like it because Joe Biden. Look, Joe Biden.
He said it.
Joe Biden called it, and look, hey, if Joe Biden's gonna call her that, who the fuck am I to to, I mean, if he's the arbiter of what's right, okay, I guess,
Oh, and I know we're transitioning this right now, but yes, Firecracker, we're gonna talk about Millie right now, because this is really one of the most important stories happening right now. Viva Frey just did a video about it too, so I need to check that out. He covers a lot of good shit. But what happened was, I mean, I don't know how, I found out through a text alert, because I'm subscribed to InfoWars emails, text alerts. I do that for everybody I can, just so that I can always stay in the loop. And I got a text alert that said Millie Weaver arrested, and I went, holy shit, that's a big deal. I thought she was at maybe a protest or something, because Owen Schroyer got arrested once for protesting somewhere, but it's a lot scarier than that, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I heard she's gonna drop a story on a few people, and Brandon was one of them.
Well, yes, that is part of what I've been hearing. Everybody follow Jack Posobiec right now if you're not, because he's covering this big time, and he covers everything big time. He's fantastic. I love that guy's work.
He came on our show a couple.
Yeah, he came on our show. He was a fantastic interview.
Yes, absolutely. He's just solid. And I met him in person. He's such a just cool, normal dude. That's what I really like. Like, he's just totally cool. You could talk to that guy for hours. But anyway, Millie Weaver was at her home. A cop came over, and there's video of it. We're gonna find it and play it. And they basically her kids were there, and they took her and her husband to prison. They didn't give many details to her, except that she had a court order, I think was the term, on her, and they just pulled her out. And then immediately after I see this is what started scaring me. Not only did I hear she has this documentary called Shadowgate, exposing the deep state. Not only that, she works for InfoWars. She was digging in pretty deep on stuff. But I saw a legal defense fund pop up. And it was from Ezra from, what the fuck is it called? The Rebel Media. When I heard that... What?
Is Rebel Media still around? I thought that got disbanded.
It's still a thing, but it's lost all of its talent. Like Loomer, Tommy, Gavin, Lauren, everybody that was anybody there has left and gone independent. But Ezra seems like a pretty decent guy that takes care of his people. But when I saw him co-sponsoring, create that, I think it was co-sponsoring at that, or gave his thumb of approval, or created that defense fund, I went, oh shit, this is serious and this is bad. Because they did the same with Tommy, when Tommy got in the shitter and was in prison for, I forget how long, but it was crazy, too long. And they did the same.
Tommy who? Tommy Lahren?
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that feminist, the new feminist. Tommy Lahren, no, Tommy Robinson from the UK, who is a brave patriot. Legal defense fund pops up from, and that one for her. I am terrified of what's going to happen to her. The charges what they're saying that they're trying to hit her with, and her husband, I guess, too. Jack Posobiec tweeted this out a few hours ago. It says, Millie Weaver reportedly was arrested on state charges of robbery, tampering with evidence, obstruction, and domestic violence. What the fuck is any of that? What?
Hold on. Someone in the chat, I think, said it was something related to...
Yes.
Mom?
I'm going to find that tweet from Pozo. I liked it a few hours ago when I was just got home. It was, yeah. He retweeted this thing, and it says, interesting if true. I want to emphasize the if true part. Because this looks like a YouTube comment from Felicia McCarran. It says, this is Millie's mother. It's my cell phone worth about $50 that she took during a family dispute that happened months ago when I was in Ohio visiting my family. She took it because I had my phone on record during or record. It's not the best grammar here. I had my phone on record during an argument we were having. We resolved the issue immediately, and I dropped all charges after it happened before I left Ohio because it was a gross misunderstanding and no harm was done. All families have their disagreements, especially during a quarantine. In California, nothing happens when you call the police. I am shocked my family was arrested after I told police to drop all charges months ago. I had a federal affidavit of non-prosecution notarized today, and I spoke with the police chief who told me I could not do anything until Monday morning, and my daughter's son and her boyfriend have to stay in jail over the weekend. I am extremely upset. This is not what I wanted to happen. I think they have a lot bigger fish to fry. It makes me think this might have been done to prevent her from coming out with some political information she is covering. There is no reason for this. I verified with the police that this is the reason for her arrest. Beyond ridiculous. I can't believe it. Grand jury indictment for her mom's cell phone.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, like seriously, stuff like this. You know, there's people out there like burning houses down. They're out there like, you know, shooting people.
Where's this at? By the way,
It should be Texas. I think it's where she lives, because
Like,
that's
what
where
part of
Alex is.
well, what part of Texas?
I think Alex is in Austin.
Well, yeah, because you know Austin's kind of liberal as fuck now. So, I mean, if it's you know, because if it's in a city, it doesn't surprise me because there's nothing.
Kind of. They defunded the police.
Well, yeah, I mean, but no, I mean, you have so these Democrat cities, they're egging on these protesters. Like they're egging on the protesters. They're basically handcuffing the police. They're doing their little bail report, like the chief prosecutors basically giving these protesters slaps on the wrist, even if they do get arrested. It's like there's nothing like this chaos is Democrat fueled. It's Democrat fueled. So like, and then so that's if Millie's in a city, and maybe one of these chatters can help me out. But like if it's in a city, like Millie could be in some deep shit because
Yo, it's getting worse.
it's partisan. It's this the justice in these big cities is definitely politically partisan. You look at the Proud Boys; they were in New York City. You're fucked. You get arrested if you're a Proud Boy and you're in New York City.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You're fucked. That's it.
Well, I found some new info. I'm gonna dive in real quick soon. But I was watching Alex Jones's video on this last night, and he was saying, like, he says, I can't talk a lot about this, but I heard what Millie was doing and what she was looking into. And I said, and I was telling her, I was like, look, Millie, you're getting in over your head. I'll report on this. I'll talk about, but like, you're getting in over your head. If Alex fucking Jones is saying you're getting in over your head, oh my God, I don't know what she was doing.
She is. Like, to be fair, look, like Millie Weaver, that's what makes, I mean, look, she pushes the envelope. Like what she does, she goes there, right? She goes where people don't go, right? And that's part what, you know, her biggest asset can be her biggest, you know, crutch sometimes too, you know, like you gotta think like because I see some of the stuff that she reports on, and a lot of it is fantastic, but it's like she gets there. She gets into it.
Well,
and so,
it's about to get worse because I'm watching this clip here on Twitter. I need to find this full video on Band.video, Alex Jones' site. And then for those who don't know, Millie Weaver, Millie Millennial, she's also called, is a reporter for InfoWars and is contracted with Alex and does stuff with them. So she's, you know, she does a lot with them. In this video he's playing here, I'm playing here. I'm going to link this to you guys because this is getting scarier. Apparently on Monday, they're looking into having a hearing with Child Protective Services, and they're going to try and take her kids.
What?
Yeah.
Over a fucking cell phone thing with her mom that her mom's not even like, what the fuck? You know, this is our government money going to fucking waste.
I posted in general.
You know, like, this is where our money's going. You know, how does it make you feel as a taxpayer that your money's being used to prosecute conservatives? You know, over family disputes. Like, come on,
Yeah, it
people.
pisses me off.
People are like fucking destroying the country right now. They're running autonomous zones, and then you're going after conservatives because they're getting stories. Like, come on, people. We still don't know, you know, fucking who did the Las Vegas shooting. We don't know all the stuff around. Well, we know who did it, but we don't know the stuff around there. That's like the fucking Kennedy assassination of our time, and we don't know jack shit about this person. Why is our money going to attack conservatives when we should be looking at stuff like this into, you know, Jeffrey Epstein's suicide? You know, we need to be digging into shit that actually matters.
And
When do we find out if she gets bail or not?
somebody in the chat said what was it? Alex said they're being held without bond until the hearing on Monday. Oh yeah, she's stuck in jail till Monday. It sounds like.
Wow.
But
They did it on purpose. They picked that date on purpose, so she had to wait till Monday.
yeah, I mean the other thing too is that I'm listening to the thing Alex is saying. Twitter's like fucking up big time. There is a shit. What did he just say? I'm already slept on because I'm trying to listen to two things at once. But he was saying it sounds like the mother in this cell phone recording thing. It sounds like the mother was filming all the documents she had like laid out with this documentary, and it sounds like she had her hands on some leaked government documents to her. Which, look, you can argue if that's immoral or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's perfectly legal to have, from my understanding, leaked documents to you. Because the New York Times reported on the Pentagon paper, or it was the Washington Post, whatever, same fake news. They're not fake news, but they report on the Pentagon papers. People report on WikiLeaks, and you can access WikiLeaks on a public website. Okay, so I don't know all the details on those things. I'm not a lawyer. Viva Frey is, so maybe his video, if you check it out, might have some good shit on that. But at the end of the day, it sounds weird. This is really weird. The timing's really weird. And man, nothing surprises me anymore at all.
Well, wasn't it like the Washington Times or like the Young Turks or whatever who was like, you know, it's illegal for you to do it, but if we do it, it's okay.
That was CNN. Yep.
It
was that Cuomo fucker on CNN.
Yeah, like that's, you know, she's doing some real good fucking research. And did you see that thing? I think it was Twitter or Facebook who changed their policies about like hacked or like leaked like documents that like they're gonna ban that from their platform.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw an article about that. I had to go look that up. I think it was Facebook. Would be Facebook. They're fucking they're rejects, you know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Fucking hate Facebook. Well, I don't know. Like, of all the places, at least with Facebook, there was conservative groups in there you could still find. I do miss them in some ways. You know, it's like a fucking hemorrhoid, man. Pain in the ass, but I don't know. It was all pain in the ass. Like, that's like fucking Reddit.
There's also something Alex said. He says in the video last. I'm trying to understand what he's saying in this current video right here. He said this like group came to his DC event in January. CPAC was in February, I thought, because that's when I was at their event. And he makes it sound like there's like this like fucking like Black Ops group or something as like some shadowy group was as like crashing his event.
Oh, it was YouTube apparently that was like banning leaked documents, according to Mr. Shovelpoint, and thank you for that. I know it was one of those fucking Silicon Valley companies, which they pissed me off. Speaking of Silicon Valley companies, retracted. Or some Black Ops shit right here.
Oh, it was spies.
Yeah, Shovelpoint's our man on the inside.
Was I in a room full of spies? Oh my god! Because MILLIE was at that.
He's our third man.
The man who knew too much.
Are we caught up on the chat?
No, not yeah. Let's see. I was reading a bit of it, and then like I was trying to watch this Alex video while listening. And oh man, scroll.
Apparently, you're fine as hell, Donnie.
I saw that quickly.
Apparently that's what's going on. Yeah, I mean, our country is totally and hopelessly corrupt. I mean,
No.
right now you got a lot of cities that are Democrat. Yeah, I mean, I can't. There's only so much I can argue on that point, because we've got a lot of Democrat cities that are just like, they're sandbagging their city for just it's to get at Trump. Like, it's just, imagine hating Trump. And we talk about this. We've talked about this in previous shows. Imagine hating someone so much that you turn your back on your own beliefs, right? You know, imagine being a mayor of a city and hating Trump so much that you let people take over pieces of your city in order to make a shot at Trump. Like, I'm baffled. Like, I'm pretty sure that the Seattle mayor has Trump derangement syndrome. Absolutely.
What was that biblical story? It was like cutting your hand or cutting your like eye out to spite your face or something.
Yeah, I mean,
What's that shit I see there?
but it's just like, it's some other shit. Like, and like, I don't know. Like, did anybody see Bill de Blasio was trying to cancel the 9/11 memorial?
But
Ooh.
Black Lives Matter protests, hey, keep them going. They're progressive.
Yeah.
I'm happy you brought him up, because I was just thinking about the fact that his daughter was a part of the whole Antifa, and no one's really talking about it anymore, but she was sitting naked in the car and everything and looking all crazy. She got arrested.
When I wasn't there like something with like de Blasio, like the governor of New York, and then like the governor or the mayor of New York City, like aren't they in some sort of like bicker fight or some shit like that?
Yeah, I think they're not on good terms. But thankfully, yeah, thankfully, like, Governor Cuomo and the leader of the police union, I think they're gonna do the 9/11 memorial anyway, where they do the twin beams. They're gonna do it. I apparently they're gonna do it anyway, which, good for them, because I mean, that's something we do every year, because
Yeah, and that's like spitting on people around the world, because it wasn't just Americans who died. It was people from other countries who died too. And then the firefighters, police officers, they all died trying to save other people. So it's just disgusting to me.
Yeah. Shit, that reminds me. I think I saw like a picture. Apparently there's some like architect in like Denmark who basically was trying to like make a design for these like apartment buildings that look like a fucking Minecraft 9/11. I don't find a fucking picture of that, but like, what the fuck, man?
By the way, when I tried to click on a band.video link on Twitter to go to one of Alex Jones's videos, because that's his website, and you'll see it on the stream here. I've never had this come up on Twitter before. It doesn't take me to the site. It says, warning, this link may be unsafe. Link you're trying to access has by identifying Twitter or our partners as being potentially spammy or unsafe. Spammy? Can't they say spam? In accordance with Twitter's URL policies, the link could fall into any of the below categories: malicious links that could steal personal information or harm electronic devices, spammy links that mislead people or disrupt their experience, violent or misleading content that could lead to real-world harm, certain categories of content that have posted directly on Twitter in violation of Twitter rules. You can continue and go to the site, but I've never seen that warning ever come up on a link on Twitter, ever.
Yeah, I don't think they even did that when they got hacked and they had that Bitcoin like RuneScape scam, like the shoveling money shit.
Yeah. Another thing too, speaking of links, to go to my Loomer update here, and I know you have some insight on this, Alex, and it's actually sounds like it's accurate, but there's some more to the story I've learned. Laura Loomer has this fantastic video out and on what Comcast and Xfinity are doing to her. I'm gonna leave it at I want to kind of dissect what they're actually doing to her, because it's there's some room for speculation, because she's saying that Xfinity has banned her from sharing links over text and email. And what she means by that is, if you are using Xfinity as your ISP and you try to click on one of her links, she shows in this video here, on her phone, you can't go to it because it says potential threat detected. And I know Alex was telling me that link shortener, because she was using a link shortener, that link shortener is known for doing malicious shit.
Well, here's the thing. It was made like within the past month. It's not it's not like Bitly or anything like that, and that's where you start getting issues.
Now,
right?
the caveat I will put on that, because I do understand and that makes some sense, but it sounds like, and I'd have to confirm this, but what it sounds like is she has been using this same link shortener for a while and has had no issues, and all of a sudden had an issue.
That website was purchased like a month ago. If she did, it was relatively recently.
Might
like,
be that then.
When I checked that out, maybe she's a different one, or maybe they changed their domain or something. But that's the thing, because you'll see like there's certain link shorteners that are more associated with malware. That one, I haven't seen malware from it, but if it's a new website that people are being linked to, that's generally suspect.
Yeah.
And people do use link shorteners to distribute malicious content too, because like, if I say go to badshit.com, that's going to look bad. But if I go and say go to bit.ly.com / blah blah blah, it's like, oh, okay, that's normal. And that's just the way the fucking
I'm looking at the Trump texts that I get. They use Bitly.
Yeah, that's like Bitly's recognized with that, and they generally respond to malicious links, and they'll take it down at some point.
Let's see. Alex Jones uses his link shortener, just says ifw.io.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah.
It's not that you couldn't access her website. You just had to go and confirm that you want to go here.
No, I don't even know if she, because I'm looking on the. Let me check the screen on her.
I have Xfinity. I went over there and
it does say proceed anyway. You're right.
Yeah, it's like it's deceptive content or like potentially malicious content.
Yeah, but let's be real. Like, regardless of like the intent of this, like if you're a lot of the average people, when they see something like that come up, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I shouldn't click on this."
Sorry, I had to step out for a second. I was getting another Red Bull.
Oh, refueling.
They're not particularly wrong though. Like, it is potentially it is like suspect content because it is a new website and it's your. So I mean, they're not wrong.
Did we talk about I think a couple of weeks ago the CEO of the world CEO of Red Bull, the one in Austria, because Red Bull's an Austrian company. I guess apparently one of the heads of Red Bull in the United States was saying something like he wanted to have more like he wished he could have taken advantage more of the Black Lives Matter movement, or like the social media movement. And because of that, like the CEO of Red Bull, like the owner of Red Bull, fired his ass because he said that. Like, so because he's actually like the CEO is actually an admirer of Trump. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
finally,
you know what?
Something for us.
I'm glad I bought all those Red Bulls and I've been hooked on them all this time. And now, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy some more. Well,
Get woke, go broke.
Yeah, look, yeah, and that was exactly what like his reasoning, I think, was because he's like, look, we're not in the fucking business of social justice or whatever. We're making fucking energy drinks.
And you notice their videos too, which are always great ad campaigns, are like alpha, like high energy, crazy,
Extreme.
extreme stunts.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, that is marketing.
Yeah, like Red Bull's always been with extreme sports, right? Like, I mean, that's always what I've associated them with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not to go back on the topic, but one thing I did want to mention too, in relation to Loomer, also is that my boy from Florida, my Florida man, Matt Gates. I was hoping he'd do it. I was like, he's probably gonna do it in the general, but no, he did it even in the primary. They were at an event. Loomer, Matt Gates, and Roger Stone, and Matt Gates and Roger Stone endorsed Laura Loomer right at a Florida congressional event. So my boy Matt pulling through.
Awesome.
Which a fun fact about Matt Gates that I learned from that documentary, The Swamp, is that post 2020, like he announced this, I think, on the CPAC stage. I didn't see his speech when I was there, but he takes no PAC money, no donor money, no special interest money, no lobbyist money anymore. Dude's for real. So that's exciting, but
I hope he raises his own money then.
he's built up enough of a brand and name recognition and everything. He does it through small donations, and I bet he's got like friends that give him some money. But it's not like, it's different when it's like somebody that's like that genuinely supports you and loves what you do for what you are and who you are, rather than some lobbyist. It's like, hey, here's some money now. Do this for me. So that's really cool. My Florida man, my Florida woman. I mean, it's funny. He has a shirt to Matt Gates. Like, it was in that documentary. He has a shirt that just says Florida man on it. So he embraces the meme of his hometown.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I Google Florida man. First article: homeless Florida man caught camping out in stadium's luxury suite. Dozens of pipe bombs found in Florida man's house. Jesus Christ, what's up with that state? Florida man wins $1 million on scratch-off ticket. Florida man has tantrum at Wendy's drive-thru. Jesus Christ, what a state!
So apparently, wrong Trump is trending on Twitter.
Taylor fucking Swift, thank you.
No,
no, that's why.
Wrong? What a piece of shit! What a piece of shit! What Taylor Swift? What the fuck is like? No, she's a stew. I think because I guess apparently they were looking into it, and one of the like a Soros-backed investment group owns owns her catalog, I guess, or
yeah. She has she had a manager that basically got secretly got the rights to all her music or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't secretly. It just because you have when you create a song, there's the artist's rights, there's the and then there's I guess the publisher's rights, artists and publisher. So usually it's the record company that owns the other part of the rights. But I guess the George Soros investment group owned their rights, so it's so you're gonna need their approval to play her old shit, on the majority of the old Taylor Swift shit.
Well, that's where the Spotify controversy kind of had some more controversy, I think, too. Yeah, because that hashtag started trending after she sent out these tweets where she said Trump's calculated dismantling of USPS proves one thing clearly: he is well aware that we do not want him as our president. He's chosen to blatantly cheat and put millions of Americans' lives at risk in an effort to hold on to power. Donald Trump's ineffective leadership gravely worsened the crisis that we are in, and he is now taking advantage of it to subvert. Yeah.
What the fuck is she talking about? There's the fact that mail-in balloting is a failed plan. It is. There's no way. Look, we can't. There are places. There are cities that can't even handle mail-in balloting. Right? You're talking about cities that only have maybe a couple, maybe less than 100,000 people. Imagine, now times that by 100 million, right? Because there's like 120 million national votes that usually happen in a presidential election. Try that, right? You think that you think that our postal service can handle that shit? I'm like, and you want us to put blind faith in this system that's not only losing money, but like that the postal service union, who is already politically partisan, it's backed Joe Biden, and it's proven to be ineffective. It's proven to be unreliable. You want to put your blind faith into that when Taylor Swift doesn't even trust it with her own fucking merchandise, right? So she's gonna fucking lash out at UPS and Donald Trump. Like I don't, fuck Taylor Swift, basically.
Why are these post boxes being removed, though?
Let's be real over here. How efficient was the fucking postal service even before this whole thing?
It wasn't.
Like, my parents and my grandparents constantly get mail delivered to the wrong houses. Won't get stuff on time even before the pandemic. I don't even have mail delivered to my own fucking house. I have to go to the postal office, and the guy's only there from like 9:30 to like 4:30. Which, if you work 9 to 5, it's not gonna fucking work. You know, why are we giving more money to these like broken systems when Amazon does a much better job?
That's true. Well, see, look, I'm wondering this. There's some engineering feelings behind this because, like, there's all these protests now happening over this and people tweeting for this guy, the postmaster general, to resign. I'm trying to find out why these are actually being removed because I don't understand why. But now it says the USPS will reportedly halt plans to remove blue collection boxes until after the election. Why were they even removing them? Like, I just don't get it. And when there's something I don't get, my instincts tell me there's something we're not being told. There's a real reason that makes perfect sense we're not being told. Because this does look bad. It looks like voter suppression, all this shit. But there's obviously a real reason behind it now that isn't that. But here's the thing, too. I look, I am fine with there being mail-in ballots where you have to apply for them and get a ballot sent to you. That's like an absentee. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can go to your fucking Walmart and you can get some toilet paper and clear the fucking shelves of toilet paper, you can go to your church or your township building or your fucking like whatever that's a block away and vote. Put on a mask. I know you all have one. It's not hard. Why do you need to mail it in?
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't even Fauci say that like regular voting should be fine?
He did, and it is fine.
Yeah.
You're already social distance like in normal fucking like voting. Like when I go, I mean, maybe it's just me, but like yeah, they're next to each other, but like you have like barriers there so people can't see you voting. So if they can't see you voting, they can't sneeze on you, and like I just like was thinking about that today of how ridiculous it is, because I don't know any Republican that's gonna be doing it by mail except ones in like nursing homes, like for the general that is, and I'm like, I just don't get it. But I mean, I do get it.
Wear fucking gloves. You know, if you're afraid, wear gloves, wear face masks.
Yeah.
In person, you know, why not?
And here's the other thing too is that look. Even if they were removing these boxes, you could still find a fucking place to mail. It's not like you're not going to have a place to mail. You have, like, post offices in towns. What are you going to do? Take the building and put it somewhere else? I mean, you're going to have that. You're going to have all kinds of shit. This sounds like a thing they're trying to get people to vote, like create a sense of urgency. That's what I'm getting the vibes of here. With Taylor Swift saying this shit, it's creating a sense of urgency to vote now, vote now, vote now, get it out, get your mail in, do it. They're trying to increase turnout. That's the plan here. And look, it's very suspicious. It's obviously what they're pushing here, but it's I just think it's ridiculous. If you want to vote by mail, you can, but like even if these were getting removed, the mail is still gonna take fucking forever to count this shit and deliver and all of it.
What are they removing now?
They're removing boxes, like the blue post boxes.
Well, they're probably inefficient.
I'm trying to figure out why. Oh, they're saying it's because of cost cutting.
Oh yeah, because like, do you know how fucking much money gets put into the postal service and how
Too
little
much.
like turnout actually gets fucking done?
Yeah.
It's like that's the thing. This isn't just a Trump thing. This is being done like year over year because it's a fucking inefficient service.
Yeah.
You know, like honestly, like they're one of the most highest paid jobs in like my fucking local communities. Like you get like $20-something an hour if you're a fucking postman.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even, like, this guy doesn't even drive. I mean, he's a nice guy, but like, fuck, it's good money for not needing a college degree. And you get like government pension and all that shit. It's like, you know, why even go to college?
See, and look, here's something too. It says on Friday, the Washington Post reported that the USPS notified 46 state and DC that they may not be able to fully deliver all ballots via mail in time for November elections. Yeah, you want to know why? I know this is the case in PA, and I don't know if this is all states, but in PA, they're not sending out ballots till, get this, 50 days before the election.
Well,
Do you know how insane that is of a turnaround?
No, they gave my girlfriend the fucking ballot already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean processing them. They're not going to, like, process a single ballot till 50 days before the election.
Yeah, that's gonna take. Well, yeah, and see, they had that in Black Hat this year. They're talking about that, like, this whole thing. Like, if you do it in person, it's a lot quicker because those are machine readable. But if you do this by hand, there's so much more shit that can go wrong. Like, and then like, let's say you scribble it on there with your shitty handwriting. Assuming you have shitty handwriting, the computer can't read it. Then what are you gonna do? Like, why would you want to go and risk your vote not getting counted because of something stupid like not a machine not being able to go and read your own handwriting? When you can just do it like on the fucking computer and it'll know fucking read it.
Even like, see, look, in this Taylor Swift tweet, it says request a ballot early, vote early. I think they're trying to get not only a higher turnout but have a high early voting number, so that when the news reports it, makes it feel like Biden's got the momentum and the edge. It's all they're using this,
trying to discourage the Trump voters,
mm-hmm.
which doesn't
Won't
work because the Trump voters are coming. They're coming regardless.
They're coming in droves.
I think the early vote push is also a push to cheat, so you can throw your vote away or change it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they don't want Biden to go and speak. They want to go and do it before Biden, before they even have the fucking talks.
That's a good point too. Yeah, they want to have it before the debates.
Yeah.
Have people make up their minds now while people aren't paying attention as much, and they can just kind of, oh, okay, yeah, Biden sounds like a good idea. Yeah, why not?
Because honestly, like, very few states allow you to go and like recall your ballot.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it's like you had to go through that whole fucking process. Why would you?
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe this is a CNN article. The headline reads, "How come white people can't use the N-word, but some black people say it all the time?" Wow. That's a good question, CNN. There is an undeniable double standard in the use of the N-word. Some black people freely use it in intimate conversations with one another. That sounds weird when they say in intimate conversations. Yeah, you're with your, like, significant other and you're like, ooh, N-word. Black hip-hop artists use it in their lyrics. Black comedians such as Richard Pryor, Chris Rock have been notorious for using the N-word in their stand-up acts. So why then is it okay for black people to use them when not whites? There's no one answer to that question. Some black people say the word is too repulsive to use in any context, even by other black folks. They claim that using it reflects internalized oppression, black people unwillingly accepting racist stereotypes. I hate that, internalized oppression.
What the fuck are you doing? What are you talking about, buddy?
Yeah. But other black people say they can use...
Bad Baby can say it. Cardi B can say it. They get a pass for some reason.
Well, other black people say they use the N-word because they've reclaimed it and taken the sting out of a slur by using the word as a term of endearment. And I say that's the actually progressive path. That's the path where you take the power out of the word and you actually just say, fuck it. Like, whatever. I don't let words control me. If that doesn't make sense, consider this comparison. Some women who call each other bitch make a similar claim. We use it as a term of affection. Yeah, it's true. Women do that, especially Zoomers.
We live in a Harry Potter world, buddy. This fucking Voldemort 101.
Voldemort.
It's a Voldemort word.
The V word. Oh, God. Yeah.
It fucking is, you know?
Yeah. I hate when people say progressive because then I'm always like, progressive toward what?
It's like fucking auto insurance, man. It's nanny state bullshit.
It's progressive toward communism.
Oh.
Yeah, progressing towards the end of the fucking cliff where you just fall off.
Fucking hate. I just like it's our education system. You know, you're promoting.
Give me Jake from State Farm any day.
You got.
He wears khakis.
Sexy.
I wear khakis to work.
You got too many sociology fucking classes and not enough of important shit in our schools and our fucking colleges and shit.
Oh my God, I took a fucking sociology class in college, man. That professor is one of the most craziest people I've ever seen. Holy shit, she's like the leftist Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Alex isn't crazy though.
Yeah, like this person was just like off her rocker. Like, holy shit. And she worked in like Maryland for like some sort of fucking like.
Yo, sorry to interrupt. I heard Alex Jones say this, and I now see it on Fox. Trump looking at possible pardon for Edward Snowden.
Good.
That would be.
That's interesting.
I think it would be good.
Say what you will about him, but you know he blew the fucking whistle, and there was
he opened the door
going on with the fucking government, and people need to fucking speak out about it. I don't care if it's fucking Republican. I don't care if it's fucking Democrat. If the government's fucking you, we have the right to go and hear about it. You know, PRISM was unconstitutional, and you know the fact that no one like. The only people who believed in that were like the fucking Dale Gribbles and fans of the world.
I'm always even if you agree that that the government should have the access to be able to get your information, even if that's the case, I still don't like the idea of like the FISA courts where they can get your information without they can get an information and a warrant without you being able to even contest that shit. Like
you will never know about that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. You never know about it, and it's like that's fucking bullshit.
And guess what? Guess how much percent of the times they actually got approval? It's like 90 some odd percent. Like, oh, that doesn't seem fucked at all. You know, who the fuck's approving these? It's just like, you know, those midnight fucking things like the search warrants a judge does. Like, oh, you know, I was driving around. Oh, I smelled marijuana. Let's go and search your car, even though there's no fucking marijuana there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've completely changed my views on Snowden. Assange was always sort of interesting to me, and I didn't know a lot about him. And the more I learned about him, the more I liked him. Snowden, when I first heard I was young, I'll admit. And when I first heard about what he did, I thought, oh, he's a traitor. This is wrong. the more I've seen about the deep state and the shit the government does, and the more about like Operation Mockingjay or Mockingbird, whichever it was, and all these other crazy things like Operation Northwoods, like Bohemian Grove, like anything in the Infowars world, and like what Joe Rogan brings up, and all these other people, I say, look, I don't know the legalities and everything of what Snowden did, or it's right or wrong, or whatever. I'm gonna actually read a little bit on Wikipedia, but anybody that exposes anything the government is doing wrong, or anything that anybody's doing wrong, frankly, is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Pardon Julian Assange, pardon Edward Snowden.
I think it's to do it like I think with me. I think there's like when you're talking about who gets like should there be access? I mean, I think that's a little nuance, but the Carter Page instance, for example, is so fucking egregious.
Oh my
like
god,
you're
they
talking
set
about
him up.
a Steele dossier that was funded by some weird Clinton campaign bullshit. Like it's like it is so egregious that how do you like you have to look at it, like you have to completely re-examine everything when you see something like that. And it's like I don't know, because I mean, of course there's certain cases where you're like you need to get a FISA warrant to get some, like there's some extremism shit going on or whatever, got it, right? But in this case, these guys just signed off, and it wasn't even just one time. Like they signed off on it. Was it 4 times? Was it about 4 times? I want to say it was. They signed off on the FISA for like Carter Page and whoever, like 4. It was like 4 times. So like, and maybe somebody can correct me in the chat or whatever. But it's like it was so egregious that like you need evidence, like right, you always need evidence to get a warrant for something like that. There has to be something suspicious, like you're talking about constitutional rights and shit. Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you. Here's a hot take. Fucking pardon Edward Snowden. Here's a hotter take. Appoint him as a FISA court judge.
Yo.
He knows what the fuck is messed up and what should go and what shouldn't go. There you fucking go.
and appoint Julian Assange with him.
Yes. Yeah, because honestly, like, they both fucking know what's fucked and what's not.
Well, and Alex Jones said mentioned that Trump is like going to pardon Assange too, which I don't know how that works with, because I don't even know I don't think Assange is even an American citizen. I forget how that works, but I think if he pardons Snowden, which there's a likelihood of that. That's I wouldn't throw that out the window. It's in my view, it's kind of 50-50. Like the Stone one to me was pretty like, yeah, he's definitely pardoning Stone at some point, or at least clemencing him, which he did, but whatever. If he does Snowden, I think Assange is almost a definite after that.
Honestly, whistleblowers need fucking protect.
Absolutely.
Assange should have never been tried. He's not even a fucking U.S. citizen. Like how? Like no. Some of the shit they were getting with, that was just trumped up charges.
I think.
No pun intended.
I think here's a hot take. I think if Julian Assange were to ever get like pardoned or whatever, we're gonna see some of the most we think we've. I think if he ever gets free from whatever he's in, the stuff that we've seen on WikiLeaks will be fucking elementary compared to some of the shit that comes out.
Yeah,
I think because I truly believe, like, I believe that I always believed that, like, with Julian Assange, I thought there was something deeper, some deeper reason that they're keeping him in, well,
because he's
hiding,
he's in jail in London right now, I think.
Yeah,
because when they chucked him in that van, they've just You know, they've kept him in isolation, basically. You know, like, think of the isolation we've been in, but, like, 10 times worse and for 10 times longer.
Yeah, he was living in a fucking, like, what was it, an embassy for, like, what was it, like, a decade
in
ago?
Ecuador.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? I know it was in England, but it was the Ecuadorian embassy, I think.
Now, you might know this better, Alex. I'm trying to find this, but, like, did Edward Snowden... I know he went to Glenn Greenwald with the Guardian at the time and gave him these government documents and leaked them to him. Does that violate the law?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
law fucking.
Absolutely did.
But if the law is fucking wrong,
Yeah.
you know,
Change the law.
yeah, like that, like if you have an unethical law, like let's say there is a fucking law about like slavery or some shit, you know, and you violate.
But I mean,
You
but,
know,
but I mean, that's what the pardon's for, though.
Yeah.
Like the pardon's for, okay,
The
you
following
did
of-
something wrong, and you're essentially forgiven, basically. Like that's, but that's not even a pardon. A pardon doesn't mean you're innocent. Like a pardon means that you're forgiven, right?
Well, and it also means if there's a miscarriage of justice too.
Right.
Like you
Right.
could have still done something wrong, but you were treated terribly,
Right.
and
Right.
it's almost like your punishment was worse than the crime.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even that. It's like the law, like the laws that we were having, that there was no whistleblower protection at that time. Like there was nothing about it. No one knew about these prison programs. Like I mean, people knew about it, but it was like it's like Alex Jones types, you know. No one really believed it until he released that information.
You guys,
What's
Yeah.
up?
I think the Biden campaign missed a Tara Reid payment.
I saw you said there's some article by her out there.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently she's not very happy about Bill Clinton being one of the speakers at the
Biden
Democratic
accused
convention.
her. Oh yeah, slams dance for Bill Clinton convention speech. Yeah, you notice they also have Hillary speaking at their fucking convention. Like, what are they doing?
Who's that person on the left of that picture? Is that Billie Eilish? Is that guy or girl? Like who the fuck names their daughter Billie?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it's some hipster California fan. Where's this picture you're talking about?
It's probably a stage name.
At least they're not like AEA 12 or some shit like that, you know?
Or 69.
Or like fucking Northwest.
Yeah. Can you imagine
Well,
naming your
like-
kid that? No,
Why
no.
these
You want to know what Billie Eilish's full name is? I forgot. I remember she had this like weird shit in it. It's Billie Eilish Pirate Baird Bard O'Connell. Her real
Oh my
last name's
God.
O'Connell.
Oh my goodness.
Like, see, there needs to be a law like your parents can't name you something that fucking stupid.
That's her legal name.
Yep.
Like-
Yeah, there should be a law. If you name your kid something super fucking stupid, Child Protective Services are coming to collect your child.
Yeah, cause that's not fair to your child. Like, you're naming them something fucking just out of the fucking blue.
Well, they can
like,
change their name though.
I know, but that's a pain in the ass. And it's like, why do you do that to your kid? Just name something like, I don't know, like Bailey,
Bailey.
Bailey Eilish. Like, come
Well,
on.
you see, because again, here's the marketing thing. Look, imagine if she was Billie O'Connell. She'd sound like a freaking like country artist.
All right,
You can make a fucking
Irish.
stage name. You don't have to have that be your real fucking name.
It's her Irish name. But Eilish is in there, so, and that sounds cool, so it's like Billie Eilish. Like,
Like
sounds.
Bob Dylan's real name isn't Bob Dylan. It's like
Oh
some.
no, it's Zimmerman, I think.
Oh God. Shut.
Yeah, that would age badly, wouldn't it? Let me check. I think it is Zimmerman. It's something like that. Yeah, Robert Zimmerman.
Oh God. Robert Zimmerman.
Optics check. Yeah.
No, but see, you know, you can choose a stage name.
Yeah, Billy Idol's a stage name.
Stage name.
That's a good Billy Idol, a proper Billy. And her brother's name is Phineas O'Connell.
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
I mean, watch that shit. It's about like some like gay ducks or something who are spies or some shit like that. You know, like
It's a platypus.
I never even watched that Platypussy.
Me either. Oh god.
For my time, that millennial shit. Fuck that, man. We had like beef. We had like Ed and Eddie and like fucking Billy and Manny and shit. No, Billy.
Another Billy.
Yeah, at least that Billy was like a man. Boy, like brain dead. God, like just thinking about that. That's such a fucked up show, you know. Like these dudes, like it's like kids. It's like Fairly Odd Parents, but like, instead of like fucking Odd Parents, they had like the fucking Grim Reaper with them. Like, god damn, those are cool back
Dark.
then. Holy shit.
I know.
Like all we have now is like fucking gay tranny like transformation sequences and stuff.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I'm sorry, we didn't
Go ahead.
speak on how China is happy with the Biden being the endorsement, and they're happy with Kamala Harris. That should be a red flag to American citizens if CCP is excited about candidates running for
Mhm.
office.
Oh,
This
you know
is
what they call
nothing
fucking
new.
Biden?
We
Beijing,
knew it.
because he fucking loves the CCP as much as he loves
We
CCP.
knew. Like, look how many dirty deals the
Mhm.
Biden family did with China. You thought that at what point was it even a question of whether China wouldn't endorse Biden?
But
Like
that's the
it's like,
thing, though. That's like it's a red flag for the American citizens.
oh yeah,
If we don't like communism, if we don't, we've already heard about the things that China does. That should be a
yeah,
red flag if they're endorsing Biden
absolutely.
and they're happy with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, whichever
Kamala
one.
Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
So Harris, we got fucking Beijing Biden.
Beijing Biden.
I hate
there
that
we go.
nickname.
CCP. They should make bumper stick. We should make bumper stickers that say CCP for Biden.
Mhm.
I like the new
Sweet.
one that he I think Trump's best nicknames he's come up with for these odd couple are Slow Joe and Phony Kamala. Cuz Phony sums up everything about Kamala. Not only is it like, oh, I care about black people is phony. I am, defund the police, Roshi, her stance on that. Reimagine, phony. Her race, ethnicity card she whips out, phony. Everything about her is phony. Even her looks are phony now. She looks phony. With the fucking like facelift now and just how she acts. So that's a solid nickname. And then Slow Joe, which he's been testing out after Sleepy Joe. I think Slow Joe is a stronger one because it gets more on the age thing. Not just the low energy, but for Joe, it's more about the age, whereas Trump is fast and high energy. I
Slow
think those are
Joe's
your stickers.
Adventure.
What was that?
Slow Joe's Dementia Adventure.
Oh god.
So I need to make that anime.
We should make that anime. Maybe I should quit my
We
job
should,
and make
no,
that
we
anime.
should. You know, what we should do. We should do a weekend at Biden's.
I thought it was
Where,
gonna be a weekend
like
of
he died,
Burns.
like we could say like he died 2 years ago, but like we could have this like fake, like this dead Biden guy being pushed up by everybody else, being held up essentially by everybody else. I think that'd be a great one.
Just said Joe Biden loves the CCP almost as much as he loves CP. Fucking true words.
Mm-hmm.
They're all fucking elitist pedophiles over there. Look at fucking Joe, man. He like he grabs women, grabs his own fucking daughter, like kiss her on the fucking lips, puts his finger in his wife's mouth. Like this dude's done some weird shit.
Oh yeah.
I think you're still missing how big of a point that Tara pointing out Bill Clinton going. Didn't this information has come out about him being on Epstein's island, like by one of the accusers? His name popped up, and then the Democrats have him speaking at the convention.
No, but I bet Biden was probably on that island too. Have to go and see, get that logbook.
I didn't see him on there, but I saw Obama on there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Biden was too busy being in China and stuff and stealing from people and making shady deals.
He's probably he's fucking Joe Biden over there is probably going to the fucking or Thailand or wherever. Fucking.
Bangkok.
Oh God, he would go to
I
Bangkok
still
bang
love.
on emails.
I still love saying that. Bangkok. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. The more stories you tell me about that place, the more it lives up to its name.
Um, le- we should talk. We should talk about Outkick.
Yes,
We should totally talk about
that's
Outkick.
your field. No pun intended. You could dive into that.
Okay. So, yeah, we could delve like because Outkick has actually kind of reached the national news too.
It's
So
breaking the
earlier this week,
conditioning.
I mean, I love it. It's the best investment I ever made. So earlier this week, Clay Travis of Outkick, he did an interview with Donald Trump. So pretty good interview. Did a good job. And so CNN decided, ESPN and CNN decided that they were going to take some Trump jabs, right? Because they normally do, right? Well, of course CNN does. So what they did was like whenever you know how whenever you get excerpts from other news sources, you're supposed to cite them, right? What they did was they didn't, and even let me stop there. Let me rewind that for a sec. Um, and even Clay Travis himself, like the guy that that interviewed Donald Trump, he even said, "I don't mind if you cite my stuff. I don't mind if you use my stuff. Just cite me and cite Outkick, right? Cite the actual stuff." So what does CNN do? They do some real shady shit. They don't first off, they don't cite Clay Travis. They mention him as host, right? They mention him as host. So that's our first fuck up. And then they go Fox Radio, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing as Fox Radio. Like there's Fox News, there's Fox Sports. There's no such thing as Fox Radio. So they didn't mention Outkick. They didn't mention um, Clay Travis. They didn't mention any of that. And this was like, and this was because this is part because Outkick is one of the fastest growing shows, sports talk shows out there. Like we're talking, all the other shows are getting low ratings. All the sports stuff is getting low ratings. Outkick seems to be like on the rise. That's probably one of the only things out there that's on the rise. And it's because not everybody wants to talk about leftist bullshit in sports, right? No, like you see how the NBA ratings are tanking right now. Like the NBA just kicked off their season. The ratings are at an all-time low,
Well,
right?
to be fair, how much sports are actually going on right now?
Actually, there's been a whole lot. European soccer's going on, baseball, fucking hockey is going on. Actually, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now, which but like basketball is supposed to be like you're in the middle of the season and you're not going to any of the games. Like nobody's going to the games because the games are closed. They're all in Walt Disney World and they're closed to the public. So the only way to really watch these games is on television, and you're still getting low ratings. Um. So yeah, So there's that. And even golf is getting higher ratings than the NBA. Like nobody
Epic.
wants to hear about.
Wow,
Nobody
that's
wants
telling.
that. It
That's
is.
sad.
It is. But this is because of this ridiculous that like they put Black Lives Matter on the court. They have everybody wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirts at the games. Nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody wants to see that shit. Like people just like most of the people, me included. Like I'm a huge sports fan. I watch sports because I want to get away from what was going on at work, what's going on with the personal life, whatever. You know, I just I want to watch a game. I want to eat something greasy, and I want to forget about whatever the fuck is going on around me. Right? I don't want that. And then what's weird, what makes it even weirder for me is like the NBA on the back of their jerseys, they have like Black Lives Matter, and they have
Mm.
uh like education reform or something. They try to have some sort of like social justice message on the back of their uniforms, which always pisses me off because I do sometimes I do sports betting and I can't fucking see the name on the back of the jersey. I'm like, what, did he score? What the fuck? I got like $200 on this shit. What the hell? No, but seriously, nobody wants to watch this stuff. So it's like Outkick is the one show that doesn't do any of that. Like it just sees it, and like it's fat, it's growing, and so that, I mean, and they're right. And like if you ever listen to anything, they're telling you how ESPN and all this is like they've become nothing but far left wing garbage. It's become far left wing garbage, and of course it is. ESPN is owned by Disney. Disney, and again, you got Disney. You've got look how much political bullshit you see in shit like Star Wars and the Avengers, and you know, like ABC News and fucking like, I mean, it's like they're pro China. They're pro China. And of course the NBA is pro China too. Like you're not there's it's a we're living in a terrible fucking year for sports right now, which, you know, makes me very nervous for the football season. Oh, by the way, Penn Staters, you're not getting football this year because the Big Ten canceled football for the year. So there's that. So enjoy your not football season this year. Fuck, I fucking hate. And who gives a shit? Like, no, seriously, like. By the way, with sports, like you're gonna cancel sports. Who gives a shit? Like these are like the coronavirus has a what 99.9 something survival rate or something like that. Like and you're gonna cancel sports. Like these athletes are not going to die from the coronavirus. Has any athlete died from the coronavirus so far? Has anybody seen anything in the news? Because you would have seen it in the fucking news if it would have got. No, we know that Rudy Gobert caught it. Donovan Mitchell caught it, and I think there's onesies twosies athletes that have the coronavirus, but nobody's died from the coronavirus. It's like one of those things. It's like these premier fucking athletes are not going to die from it. They work out constantly. They drink shit tons of fluids. They're living regiments. Okay, they're not going to die from this fucking virus. Okay, and now our video is probably going to get fucking removed because we're.
Well, yeah. Like here's the thing. Like the amount, the death rate of that is so fucking low for people who are healthy in their prime. Like,
yeah.
I think
the average death is like somebody somewhere in the 80s or some shit. The average age of death is somewhere in the fucking 80s, 70s or 80s or some shit. Like, are you kidding me? So what's the risk of having a chalk diesel dude in his 20s competing in a football field? Like, what's the beef? Who gives a shit? We want to see some fucking football.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People at Penn State. I mean, it's not just Penn State. That was like the whole fucking conference, with the exception of like.
Yeah, but imagine, but look at But okay, well, so look at a place like Penn State. Like each home game, you're talking about, first off, that stadium, you're trying to fit. You know, that's like 100. That's like a capacity of 100,000 seats in that stadium, and usually, even for the important games, you'll have like at least 3 or 4 important games that they'll sell out. They'll sell out. They'll have like 250 million people there, or either in or around the stadium at the time, and it's like a tremendous boost to the economy in State College. Because
Oh
look,
yeah, like State College is fucked. Like I
yeah,
went
State
there
College is
and
fucked.
it
Yeah,
was like nothing was
and
fucking open.
Yeah,
so
describe your experience actually real quick of going to State College right now.
It was a fucking ghost. I mean, to be fair, it was summer, but like nothing was fucking open. The places that were open, it was like all you had to like wear a mask. Like half the fucking food places were closed. Like Babies is closed.
Babies is
Nothing's
for
going on.
sale.
Yeah, they're for sale.
I'm scared
Like
about
they're
that.
fucking gone. Like all like I try to go to Indian Pavilion. I love the Indian Pavilion, but like they won't allow you to eat all you can eat buffet, which I don't know why they're not allowed to go and do that. Because I went to like this sushi bomb place in a Chinese buffet the other week, and that was open, and you could do the same shit there. So I don't know what's going on in PA. Like literally nothing was fucking open. I was bored. Like the only thing interesting they had was the farmers market. You know, and even then, it's like you can't even eat your food anywhere. And like the state college like ordinances on when you have to go and wear a mask are like bizarre. Like if you're a smoker, where the fuck like are you? How are you supposed to like smoke? Like honestly, because according to them, like you have to be wearing a mask unless you're like I think eating something is okay, but I don't even know because like the laws were written like unless you have a religious exception, which is bizarre, or you get like a signed document from your fucking like health professional. Like whoever wrote this is a complete fucking idiot. Because there should be times like if you're smoking a cigarette, that should be fine. If you're eating, that should be fine. But they don't have those exceptions in place. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Well, I know they do for like, because some movie theaters are reopening, like AMC's reopening, and they're showing classic movies for like $5 or something, which I think is pretty cool. But people have to be distant, and you have to wear a mask unless you're eating or drinking. So if I was in a theater, I just have a water bottle there the whole time. Be like, oh,
Well, no,
sorry, I'm drinking.
love that because now you have a reason to buy their overpriced popcorn and soda.
Not if you sneak it in.
That's how they'll get you.
Yeah. Also, real
radio,
quickly,
Radio Freedom. Radio Freedom mentioned nobody cares about sports anymore, so they're
that's
going
not
to start
true.
putting up. So they're going to start putting up virtual fans in the seats. To combat that, okay, so this originally started with when they started kicking off European soccer again. What they did was they put virtual virtual fans. Like if you've ever seen like Techno Bowl from Nintendo, from the Nintendo days, right? You see they're like there's like ruffle fans that were computer generated in the stands of these
NPCs.
European soccer. Yeah.
Oh god.
So right. So that's what they used, and so that's what they used there. And then in the NBA games, what they did was they created these video walls with um with fans that had that were watching the game from the computer, but they had like a cam that had their face on the screen at the game. Like, so it's real fucking weird. It's like it's the weirdest shit I'd ever seen. So like, yeah. So when you look at an NBA game, you're looking at people that are Skyping, that are Skype watching, but it just like it's weird. It's like you see the Skype picture, but there's like it cuts out everything else but the body of the individual that's watching the game, and then it has like a fake looking seat behind it or whatever. It's fucking terrible. You'd have to see it to really understand. But yeah, virtual fans are already happening, and that'll probably happen with football too.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, is it gonna happen now? Yeah, but the reason people go to games is for the experience of being in a stand as a fan. That's
Yeah.
never going to change.
So the problem with the NFL here's the problem that the NFL does not want to not have fans in the stadiums.
Yeah, and I think that, look,
because-
I don't get why they can't just have it at like a quarter or a half capacity and people
Yeah.
distant.
Well, here's the thing. You're not gonna tell these NFL teams with NFL stadiums that have high-priced premium seating that they're not going to be allowed to go watch some fucking football.
Well, what you could do is, like, again, this is complicated shit. I bet people are thinking of this way more than me, but you could offer refunds, and for people that don't take it, you
the
can
NFL.
kind of, I guess you could say, have them go some games, have some go others, but then again, they want their money, so.
Yeah. So the colleges can get away with that shit because there's other endowment.
Well,
There's endowment backups going on.
well, did you see Penn State, I believe, isn't refunding a single ticket?
Oh yeah.
I heard that you could get refunds, but like they're trying to get you to either donate or
Right.
Yeah,
you know,
fuck
they're
no.
something else. Like they still did offer refunds, and if they did, they'd get their ass sued.
Yeah. But it's no, they'll. I firmly do not believe that the NFL will not do anything other than let fans back in the stadiums. Like that, I think that they'll say "fuck you" to the government and let all the fans back in the stadiums.
Yeah, but
just
they can't
because
do that.
There's too much money. There's way too much money. Way too much money involved.
I agree, but did you see what the Big Ten has canceled all their shit, and that's big money too.
Completely different. Completely different. The college football, the money generated from college football games is a fucking pittance compared to the professional football games.
But to these universities, it's huge, like Penn State.
Yeah, but that this is and it's more. There's and like I said, there's more of a school endowment backup financially, whereas you don't have that with the NFL. Like in the NFL, that this is pretty much what they have. It's football tickets and the TV package. That's where they're getting their money.
Yeah,
And they're probably getting it from somewhere, like, and you're getting it from TV rights and stuff too. But like you're talking about big fucking money. You're talking big money.
yeah,
Like,
but
especially Cowboys.
I still
Jerry
don't see
Jones
the
is like-
NFL happening. I
Jerry
don't think it's gonna
Jones-
happen.
No, it's happening. I'm willing to bet money on that shit.
With fans, you mean?
Yep.
I
Jerry
don't
Jones
think
is
so.
Jerry Jones has already said he's anticipating he's having games with fans.
But
with
aren't they in
complete
Texas?
fans and everything. Yep.
Texas is
But-
a
but-
little different animal. Like,
But you got to realize, look, Jerry World, Cowboys or AT&T Stadium, you're talking about $1 million fucking suites. You think he's gonna let go of that shit? You think he's gonna refund that shit? You're out of your mind.
but I think in
$1
states
million, yeah.
like PA, for example, where we have, everything still, we're like, Texas is, they're I don't want to say they're
I
free, but like they're doing shit we're not doing. I don't
I
see the NFL operating
I
with
think at the very
for
least-
fans in the fall.
I think at the very least, the premium seating will be allowed to happen. At the very least.
It's possible. I
Very
could
least.
see
No, there's
limited
too much money.
seating.
There's too much money in it. You know how much fucking money? I mean, it's insane money. We're talking about for the average cost
Mhm.
for a family of 4 to go to an NFL game. Last time it was like $1,220 or something like that.
Oh my god.
That's what kind of money we're talking about here.
But
of
honestly,
the
what they
premium
could
seating.
just do is say, and I'm not saying they should do this, but they might, is just say, oh, we already got your money. Sorry. Bye. Can't come. Sorry.
Well, they'll stop. they'll stop the check. But anyway,
All right, but did you guys want to talk about that fucking Apple shit?
Yes, 1 second though. I did see a news I didn't even catch before, but Thon is going to be held virtually in 2021 due to the pandemic.
No, you could have figured that.
Yeah, I know, but that's a pretty big deal. You're probably going to Thon's going to take a big hit with donations, not just because of it's not going to be actually a thing really, but also because people aren't going to be donating shit when they don't have money right now.
well, I mean, it's
Well, here's the thing with Thon too is they haven't been getting as much money like year over year because they keep adding restrictions to all that junk too.
And banning canning and everything.
Canning, I don't even think they're allowed to do canvassing anymore either. You know,
Well, I
it's been
think let me check by year. I thought it was going up at least recently, but I could be wrong.
it's at least 10 million annually. I think it's at least 10 million annually.
Okay, I found some.
do a virtual fucking dance. Like, how's that gonna work? Is it gonna be like you play Fortnite for like 48 hours or something?
Or you're doing like a Skype dance or something like that.
Yeah, I get
Or
like,
some that's like some shit you'd see in OnlyFans or something like that.
yeah. Oh god, some cringe shit.
Okay, Thon 2019 raised 10.6 million. Okay, and Thon 2020 raised 11 million.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
more, but not much more. Don't know if that's
Yeah.
a trend over time, though. It could be a fluke, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, here's the thing: no one's gonna give a shit about like curing cancer when we have another disease that needs to be like cured.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yo, what if they, like, co-opted? You know what they could do? This would be some...
For COVID.
Yeah,
But no,
exactly.
they never do that because you know fun is important.
Yeah.
The Four Diamonds Fund, that's a nice thing to have. It's just going to take a hit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
And people aren't going to donate money when money's tight and they don't have jobs. Like, I was talking to a guy that owns a candy store. I think he told me he lost, I think he said $100,000 because of the shutdown. Like, it's pretty, people, again, these people that say, oh, we gotta stay locked down, like, what's people's problems with that? It's like, well, on the one hand,
That's because you got all those kids that can't buy their candy in this store.
I'm the candy man. I can't do any voices today.
Like Donnie heading out soon.
Aw.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Well, hey,
yeah.
it's getting late here. It's
Yeah.
almost 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the Google Apple shit or whatever it is. What was that you were talking about, Alex?
With the Apple stuff.
Yeah. What's that about?
Epic Games is suing Apple because they were taken off the App Store because they were doing their they decided to go against Apple's thing and allowed third-party monetization, which is against Apple's rules.
Whoa, wait. Can you break that down a bit? Sorry. So, so Epic Games, specifically Fortnite, it sounds like, is having an issue because it's suing Apple because they ban third-party monetization.
Yeah, so like if you want to be monetized, you have to go through Apple's monetization functions or whatever, which requires a 30%
cut.
Yeah, cut for that.
Uh-huh.
And they're suing, I think, Apple for like monopolistic practices in regards to that, from what I understand. Which,
Ooh.
to be fair, like as much as Epic Games is a piece of shit company, but like Apple needs to get their shit together with that too. Because I think it was who is that? Like Linus Tech Tips, like they're developing an app. And like Android version had no problems, whatever getting developed. But like the Apple version, they had to go and cut so much content from that. It was like completely different fucking apps, because of like how much like control Apple wants over their apps. So it'll be really interesting to see how that happens.
Now, doesn't Google do the exact same thing?
Yes, but you don't have to download from the Google Play Store. Any Android device can download third-party apps.
Yeah, that's true. But why, like, I see where it's coming from.
I think Google is getting sued too, but I'm pretty sure that'll be dropped because you can download third-party apps, but Apple, you can't. Friends.
Oh, I see. Epic Games introduced a direct payment option in the Fortnite app for iPhone and iPad, allowing players to purchase in-game V-Bucks. God, I can make so many jokes about that. At a 20% discount by sidestepping Apple's in-app purchase mechanism. The functionality violates Apple's App Store review guidelines, which indicate the apps offering in-game currency must use Apple's in-app purchase mechanism only. The direct payment option is also added to Fortnite apps on Android in violation of Google Play Store rules too. Yeah, they say, yeah, that is interesting. Apple removes Fortnite from the App Store. Wow, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, that there's gonna be some backlash to that shit, and honestly, I think there should be because like, as shitty as as much as I hate Fortnite and like Google and Epic Games and all that stuff, that's a really big thing with Apple though. Is like they have such this walled garden approach to their app store. It's like completely. If you're a developer, like Apple sucks, like super fucking bad. Like they do it because they're like at least in the US there's a large market share for it, but like in Europe it's really not that big. And like most other countries it's like really small, but like if you want to develop apps, Apple is not your friend compared to Android. Cause at least like the Google Play Store is a lot easier to get on in general, and they don't require as much of a cut, from what I understand. Plus, you don't even really need to do the Google Play Store if you're like fucking Fortnite. You could just have a third-party app.
And Google Play removed the Fortnite app as well. And well, here's the thing too. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go because I know these are different things, but just kind of consider it. Like, when we post videos on YouTube, and if we want to monetize it, big if, because that's a long ways off, we would have to go through Google AdSense. We don't have a choice. You have to do it. Now, you could say you don't have to upload to YouTube, which is true, but just like the app world, oh, you don't have to go through Apple. You don't have to go through Android. Yeah, but who else are you going to go through? And that's the same thing with YouTube in a sense. And maybe these are different, but like, I don't know.
Well, for Android, and here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. It's going to be dropped for Google. It's probably going to be dropped or it's going to be dismissed because you can download third-party apps. With Apple, you can't. Like with Google, you could do third-party monetization if you like. Let's say Raid Shadow Legends sends us a fucking like email. It's like, hey, buddy, plug our mobile game and we will pay you X amount of money. You don't need to go through Google's monetization. You can do it yourself, and I see many people doing that, especially with Raid, which I've never played it. I don't fucking trust it, but
Now this could, and I saw an article hinting at this, like end the app store as we know it. But will it though? Because Apple's been able to keep this sort of model up, and I like it. That's just me, and I get why people don't, but I don't think this is going to end the App Store and you're going to be allowed to download anything you want to the iPhone. Like, I just don't see that happening. I mean, Apple has been a bit more lenient recent years. Like, for example, when third-party keyboards were a big thing on Android, Apple was never allowing that. And then with iOS 7 or 8, they started allowing third-party keyboards to be put on your phone. So it's like they're opening up some more of some things.
So we could do a conspiracy theory thing here.
Oh boy, I love them.
Is Epic is this Epic Games thing where Google and is this another piece of the China decoupling? Yeah, because
Hi, Donnie.
Hey, later, Gator.
Bye.
Because Tencent Holdings does own 40% of Epic Games, and this is like another wave because they went after, like, they've been forced to go after like these Chinese companies. I know they don't want to, but they're probably doing it anyway because TikTok, like the U.S. government has basically said, TikTok's no longer either needs to remove China from its shit or it's no longer going to exist. And of course, Tencent, which is Chinese, Tencent Holdings, which is a Chinese holding stake, they own 40% of Epic Games. So, I mean,
Oh, here's what I think. They're gonna try to portray it as that, but I don't think that's in reality what it actually.
I mean, that could be it too. Yeah.
I think that Apple does have some very restricted practices for developers. It's not a friendly platform. Everyone I know who's developed like fucking Apple apps has said the same sort of thing. It is a problem, and I don't think it's fair to customers to forbid because you're basically treating your customers like kids. You should at least have the option to download third-party apps if you enable like what it is with Android. And I think that for a pro customer, pro consumer standpoint, Epic Games should win this case. However,
I could see Apple going that route at some point, allowing third-party apps. I could see it happening, but I don't think you're gonna see it anytime soon.
I don't know. It depends because like Fortnite's a big fucking market, and then if Android, even if it's on the Android store, you can still download it on Android.
Well, let me put this: when I say soon, well, okay, soon in the tech world's a really relevant term. I mean, I could see actually. Let me rephrase this better. I could see it happening at some point over the next few years. I don't know when, but I could see it happening because
you're talking about Unreal, Gears of War, as well as Fortnite. You got a lot of games. You got a lot of games on that Epic.
Oh yeah,
Epic Games arsenal.
Unreal Engine, man, that's huge.
You're gonna.
But, to be fair, mobile isn't really a big gaming platform as of yet. Like
except
they have
for Zoomers.
Well, they have like shitty games on there, and like Fortnite, I guess they have that, but like it's still not the greatest.
Well, how many people play Fortnite on their phone and iPad versus computer though? And I mean Mac and PC.
I would you have to look up the stats on that. I imagine probably not as much, but then again, you get a lot of kids who don't have a video game console.
Yeah,
they might be playing it on there, and that would hurt Apple, honestly. And I think what might end up happening is they end up settling out of court, and they might negotiate a better rate because, Apple would probably lose out on a lot of money, and it would give Android an edge, even if it's not on the App Store, because at least you can download it off party. I don't, but that's the thing too. It's like this whole movement, because like it's done with like the App Store and like the Android Google Play Store. Where it's been this movement towards you can't download the apps yourself. You have to go through these stores. And like Microsoft Store, I think is kind of going that way. But right now, you can still at least download apps off the internet if you want to, like in files.
Well, I like that. Look, I don't get me wrong. I like the idea of having an app store where you can see an app, you can trust it, and you can download it, and you don't have to even think about viruses, malwares, and any of that shit. Now, should you have the freedom to download third party? Probably. I kind of am more leaning towards that recently, but I still love the idea of an app store. I love it.
I don't know if that's even true that you don't have to worry about malware either.
Well, it depends which app store you're using, because
even Google, because what's stopping an app from making an update that completely breaks the fucking terms of service for a shitty third-party app that no one cares about?
Well, I know with Apple, and it's kind of like what you were saying, like they have extreme vetting of their apps, to say the least, sometimes even a bit too extreme, you could argue, but they have extreme vetting. Microsoft Store, holy shit, dude, that place is a joke. I remember when I used to have a Windows phone back in the olden days. Yeah, I know. I used to have one of those things. I still have it. Dude, literally anything was in there. I mean, anything. Like, I would try to find well, actually, I shouldn't say anything because a lot wasn't there. A lot of like the core apps that we love on Android and iOS are just not there. But like if you were to try to find, let's say, just some like racing app or something, you'd find like literally like porn apps like just floating around, or like spam apps with like weird like symbols in their names and shit. And I don't know, I guess it's changed a bit, maybe not, but the Microsoft Store, Windows Store, whatever it was on the Windows Phone was a joke. Literally, like, and you could submit any app and they would accept it pretty much, which is stupid. Like, if you're gonna have an app store, like, have a fucking like a extremely vetted app store.
Well, I don't know. There's a certain point to that though. It's just so you can find a place to download the apps, like in a search bar. It's like a fucking Google, you know.
Look again. This is the fundamental difference between like Apple and Android. Like Apple is all about that user friendliness, and what's friendly about is like you just know, oh, I want an app. I go to the app store. I type it in. I download it. There's no extra thinking. It's very simple, very easy, very efficient.
Well, has there ever been any apps on the App Store that were malicious?
No, I've never downloaded one like that, and I don't know if there's a history of that. I bet some have slipped through the cracks, but it's got to be very rare.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like how much is actually like from the fucking App Store? Because like when you talk about malicious like malware and stuff on there, could be from like malicious fucking like PDF files, malicious web files, like especially phishing. Like my God,
phishing is the big thing now.
Oh no, it's always been a huge thing because people fall for it.
But it's bigger than ever, though.
I mean, it's always been big. Like phishing's always been big. I mean, malware's it's always been there too. But like phishing is easy. It's hard to go and like detect compared to malware because like if you go to a website, it's like how do you know it's phishing? It's not going to show up unless someone else has seen it before, unless you have like some AI algorithm that detects it, which they do have those, but like, it's easier to go and slip through that. And that's the way they go to it too, is they'll send you like text messages with shortened links. And it's like, oh, hey, my bank account, I need to reset my bank account password, and brings you to a fucking phishing website. And it even has that little like lock, like the secure lock icon for like encrypted, which doesn't mean shit anymore. If you see the fucking encrypted icon or the certificate icon, they can spoof that shit. Know what the fuck you click.
Yeah, every time like I get a text from a number I don't recognize that has some sort of urgency to it and it has a shortened link, I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, see, if you ever get that, you can throw that into urlscan.io or like virusscan.com or virustotal.com, and that'll usually give you some fucking insight into what the fuck it is.
Well, I always keep getting these spam calls. They're like your auto and your.
God, I get those.
But Alex, I just got a text that said they could help my penis grow by 3 inches.
Oh yeah, but no, it's the fucking the phone calls are pissing me off more than anything. I get more of those too. It's like, oh, you have an extended auto warranty for your 2019 Subaru. And I was like, dude, I don't even have a fucking Subaru. What are you talking about, buddy?
Well, and the ones I get is like your.
You want to get extended insurance on your fucking Pinto?
God, that was a fucking terrible car. Like we get these. I get these ones. They're like, I think it says that your warranty has run out or something's your insurance has run out. Like. Again, it's always a sense of urgency, like, oh, I gotta click this, do this now.
Extended auto warranty bullshit.
Yeah, and people wonder why my job is hard now. It's because of shit like that, Because when you call them and say, hey, do you want to volunteer? They're like, who are you? How do I know you're legit? Oh, funny story. I forgot to tell you 2 funny stories. So... Cause we got to end on a light note as we roll out here. I had 2 funny door knocking experiences. I think 3. There's another funny. Oh, 3. I have 3 funny stories. But One of them's not door knocking. So the 2 door knocking ones, the first one was shit, I'm already forgetting it. What were we just talking about? Because it reminded me of it.
Jeez, great funny story, dude.
What was that?
Spam calls for auto insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, that reminded me. I need a trigger again. I went up to this one dude's house. He had this fucking, like, decked out Jeep and shit. He's a good Jeep driver, don't worry. But it was, like, decked out. He had all this shit. Like, he was in a expensive sort of house. Like, it was a small, like, townhouse. But he had his shit together. And it said he was Republican, knock on the door. And this fucker carded me. He carded me. Like I
What?
was at a restaurant. I'm like, hey, I'm Sean. What?
You don't even drink.
Yeah, well, I'm playing with the term.
You could be a fucking terrorist. I mean, look at you. You kind of look like.
Hey, if you see my driver's license photo, I look like the Boston Bomber. I'm not making that up.
Shaggy.
Shaggy gone bad. And I'm like, hey, I'm Sean, the Trump campaign, and I was just wondering if you'd be voting for Trump. And he just kind of looks at me and he goes, could I see some ID? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, here's my business card. And then he goes, cool, but I mean like ID, like a driver's license. And I'm like, I understand, sir. And I whipped it out and showed him. And he then was like, okay, cool, just want to make sure you're legit. I'm like, yeah, I understand. That's Antifa too. But he fucking carded me like I'm at like getting a beer at a restaurant. You know.
There's like Antifa going around saying they're like for the Trump campaign, like getting them to like dox Trump supporters now.
To be honest, they could. That's too much effort for them, which is why I don't see that happening. But I can understand why people would think they would do that or be suspicious of people like me because of that idea. The second person, though, this is the real. This guy made my day. I was knocking, and I was getting tired. I'm on my like last door, and I'm knocking this guy's house. And he had like Penn State shit, and he answers the door, and I'm like, hey, you voting for President Trump? And he goes, yep, absolutely, 100%. I was like, oh, cool, yeah. So, yeah, I was asking like fair questions, and he goes, so how's the vibe of like the neighborhood? Like, what do you sense out there? And I'm like, yeah, it's mostly positive. I think people are pretty cool. And then he goes, well, what about like, any negative stuff? Like, if people told you to get the fuck off their property, and that's the phrase he used. And I'm like, yeah, I've had a few. Like, say, one guy actually said that word for word. Even 2016, even the guy threatened to shoot me, and he goes, listen, look, if somebody ever threatens you, like, this is a safe haven. You can come here. You can stay here. Like, these guys are easy to kill. I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm like, holy shit. Whoa there, dude. Let's check those optics, man. And he's like, no, don't worry. Like, we got firepower. We got everything here. We're cool. Hey, and then he literally like cuts off like midway through that. He goes, he's like, hey, these guys are easy to kill. Like, we'll protect you. Like, we'll take them out for it. And hey, would you like because he saw my water bottle, I think, and he's like, hey, would you like a shot of like vodka or like gin or something? I'm like, no thanks, sir. I don't drink. And he didn't say anything after that. I was just like, okay, well, have a nice day, sir. And he fucking offered me a shot of a drink.
Oh, there you go, man. Remember when I was working with the fucking Trump campaign at 16, I went by like Chrome. It was like some bar. I wasn't even 21 at the time, but they were offering me to come in. I never did.
These people are the best. Like, some people offer me like water bottles, and like one lady offered me a popsicle. This fucker was funny.
You boys want popsicles? Would you like Donald Trump? I can show you my Trump tower.
Last thing too, I'll mention is that before we kill it, Phil's already like dropped off, but I'll mention my last story, which is that I don't know if I told you this one, Alex, but when I was driving into work a few days ago, and I was coming up into the city, and I was pretty tired that day. I only had 4 hours of sleep. And I'm going down, cruising, and all of a sudden I start, not paying attention too well. And then all of a sudden I see some blues and tubes in my rearview mirror. And so I pull over into a parking lot. So I couldn't tell if they were following me or following the car in front of me, or if there was like a emergency or trying to get around. So I move over, and then I park, and sure enough, they're following me. And the lady comes out. She's like, hey, sir, you were 15 over the speed limit. Do you know why you were doing that? And I was like, I'll be honest, I was quite tired and wasn't paying attention. They took my license, registration, and boom. Turns out, they did not give me a ticket, but they gave me a warning. So, that happened.
Yeah, shit happens. Yeah, I think you did tell me about that one before, but
I did.
Yeah, it's tough. Gotta be careful out there, man.
It's my first time getting pulled over. I didn't get shot.
Good on you.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we close her out?
No, just keep doing what you're doing, folks. Thank you for everyone who listened, and please give us a like and a subscribe if you feel we were any good. If you don't like it,
Still subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, hate watch us like I do CNN.
Yes. Oh, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll keep you up to date on everything. As always, like, share, subscribe, and as always, wash your hands. All right. 16 hours total watch